It is once again time to prepare your mind for another edition of Weekly Weird.
Chairs.
Yeah, chairs, man. Chairs.
I'm not sure what you mean when you say that word. Like of a committee?
What is going on?
We're
We're like on a slope. I don't know how this happened. Hold on.
Up for the book report
Boop, 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 boop. There he is, and then boop, 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 boop. Your head looks so big now. Okay, there we go. That's better.
That's huge.
That's better. All right, we figured it out. Welcome to Weekly Weird. My name is Dio. Doing technical stuff that he didn't do because he was running late. With me, as always, to my screen left.
Yeah, that's me.
Patrick. How's it going, Patrick?
Ooh,
Old man.
so fancy.
Yeah, Patrick.
Ooh.
Patrick. I can give it a little more extra stank. Wait, what do I sound like? I sound like from Rat Race, from Rowan Atkinson from Rat Race. For me, it's a race. I hope I win. Anyway, speaking of race, never mind. Jim, hi Jim.
Aw.
How's it going, Jim?
It's life. It's life.
It's life. That's
Can't
right.
stop. I mean, it can eventually, but
Yeah, I mean that's true.
not yet.
I feel like I'm doing everyone a disservice today because I haven't put up some Killdozer imagery here. So give me a second. But that is what we are going to do, guys. Tonight we are covering one of the most infamous stories on the anniversary of the event, the Killdozer.
Oh,
It's a choice that we made.
Anniversary.
An
It is
intentional choice.
in
We
1
went out of our
hour.
way
That's
to
right.
Schedule it.
I'm late because I wanted to make sure our show happened during the anniversary. That's right. Here we go. Oh, doze? Is this the doze of Kill? See, it doesn't seem that imposing when it's that small, but then you get Killdozer.
I can see both the kill and the dozer.
It's true. This is both.
Yeah.
This is when the Killdozer has been killed and vanquished, but yeah, here it is, Killdozer. Marvin Heemeyer, the man behind the Killdozer. We'll dive into it soon. But first, I got to ask Patrick. Oh, go ahead. No.
If that was like 15 inches long and made of plastic and was sold with Ninja Turtles in 1996, it would still be. It's visually perfect for that that sort of.
I feel like with a paint job, this is easily toy-actionable.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you easily can make. Like, where is my Killdozer merchandise? If Marvin Heemeyer, right? It's funny. I'll get into it later.
Get on it, Heemeyer.
But maybe if he hadn't decided to take the coward's way out, he could be marketing right now.
Does he have children? Yeah. Someone should be profiting off this.
We'll get into it, Jim. We'll get into it. But first, Patrick, do you anything weird this week? Or got any weird facts? I should just ask you for facts.
I am so glad that you're catching on to the bid.
I know. I every week I forget, and yet here we are.
Sick Tonka. I agree, Dave.
I've got some good ones. I got some juicy ones.
I can't wait.
Got a quick but really, really fun one. Do you know that platypuses wet milk?
Gross.
Yeah,
like 2% whole milk? What are we talking about here? Skim? Skin?
Full vitamin D platypus milk.
Ooh.
Are they sweat it to feed their babies, or they sweat it because they're like, ooh, I'm all warm. I better get milky.
I didn't dive that deep into the
That's fair,
disgustingness that
that's
is
fair.
the platypus's sweat.
It's gross.
Patrick, they're saying you're quiet. I have tried to beef you up. Let me know if Patrick's better. We need Patrick. We need like 200% more Patrick.
Do I sound beefier?
Oh,
Whoa.
you got a little beefier on my end.
Got a little beefier, yeah. I think so. Beef him up. All right, we got him beefed. All right, sorry. Anyway, platypus and milk.
Full beef.
I think so. I think you're beefed.
Well, let's see. Ooh, okay, here we go. There's a snail out there in the world
Mm-hmm.
called the abalonus, and it has 5 assholes.
No,
Yeah.
disagree.
5.
Disagree.
But how
I
many
would too
asses?
if I didn't know it to be true.
What's the
Well, it's a
ass?
snail,
The
so probably
asshole.
none.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Zero. I'm
Yeah.
gonna venture a guess that it has 0 asses, but
Yeah.
5 assholes.
Yeah, no cheeks.
There's not a cheek
all
to
holes.
be seen. Yeah.
What defines an
Yeah.
ass? Is it the cheeks or the hole?
I say the ability to poop is what defines an ass.
Okay. All right, I'll see. So he
Yeah.
That's
naturally he has 5 assholes, then he has 5 asses, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Gotcha. It's the hole. All right, we're getting holes.
Yeah, see, it is.
We're getting holes
Makes
here.
them
Okay,
asses,
got
do
it.
they?
Got it.
To
No
me,
cheeks,
when
flat as a board.
when I hear ass, I picture the cheeks.
That's me too. I visually go for when I hear ass. I think of the
Yeah,
butt
yeah.
talks.
But I don't
You
know.
know.
I don't know
'cause all
scientifically
the
what
cartoons
exactly
you
is
watch.
deliberated. You know.
What the cartoons I watch? How do you don't know me?
Yes. Your butt cheek cartoons.
That's right.
I didn't want to say
Const-
pornography, but now I have.
No, it's more like Ren and Stimpy. So many butts in Ren
They-
and Stimpy.
There are butts.
So
There are butt
many
cheeks
butt
in Ren and
cheeks.
Stimpy.
So many.
Cheek hole interplay. Yeah, exactly, George. You
The
got it.
cheek hole interplay. Dang.
Yeah.
Any
The
more?
name of our prog rock album.
That's
Buddy, I could give you so many more. Do you want another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Did you know that cats cannot taste anything sweet? They do not have the ability to taste
Huh.
anything
Huh.
sweet.
I did
Weird.
not know that.
Yeah.
That explains so much about why cats are asses.
Yeah. And by that we don't mean butt cheeks, we mean poopers. Yeah.
I got the correct response out of Jim for that. I said it as if it were a joke, and yet
Yeah.
it was not even
it had
a
all
little
the
bit.
aesthetics of a joke.
That's right. I got the intonation right. I said
Yeah.
it. It called
Yeah.
back
Oh my
to
God,
something, and yet
The time.
not a
was good.
joke. There you go.
Cats are another animal that have asses with no butt cheeks.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. All right. I'm just. There you go.
Fact dropping in chat.
It wasn't a confrontation thing. It was a legitimate question
Whoa,
in
guys,
spirit of
calm
inquiry.
down.
Okay,
I
calm
hate it when
down,
you're
chat.
fighting like
That's
this.
right. Okay, I'm fighting with chat. Chat, you guys are coming on too harsh. Okay,
Yeah, you guys are
maybe
really
not your
riled up
cat.
today.
My
George got-
cat's all cheeked up.
Oh,
Well,
God.
Jim.
Picks in the Discord, please.
Jim, what about you? Do anything weird this week?
I did something that was weird for me this week.
Oh,
I played a video game on the internet with you boys.
I
and Dave,
know.
And Harold, some Harold's mob.
Right?
It was fun. I've never done that before.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That
And
is
never again.
wild. Mm-hmm.
First and last time.
Yep.
It's understandable.
That was
No,
pretty
This
no, we'll
environment
get
can
you
get a little
back.
hostile.
It's true. It's true. What a game to start with too, as well.
It was
Oh, yeah.
massively confusing.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the game? What do you think you can do better? Like, give me your analysis here.
Well, I didn't understand it feels like the game itself is about deception and the detection of deception, and I was so hung up on the mechanics of functioning within an office that I didn't actually get to play the thing that feels like it's the actual game. So I was mostly just clicking F on things and then trying to gauge from there. So everything, I could do everything better, presumably. I mean, I don't know that I could, but everything could be done better than what I was doing for sure.
That's how that works, though. That's how an office operates, man.
Yeah. To be fair, every time I've worked in an office, it has been similar.
Yeah, I think your level of efficiency was about accurate to every office. You probably would have failed upward long enough.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd be
that's
CEO
true.
if you were still playing right now.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm pleasant enough, and bad at my job.
That's right. All you need to do is be pleasant and bad at your job.
Pleasant and stupid.
That's right. That is correct.
It's the himbo economy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dare I ask Dio?
Oh, what were you
let's just move on to the news stories. Let's just.
Are you sure? You know, we got 20 minutes. Dio, anything weird happened?
I'm struggling to remember. There was something that I clocked as weird this week. Wow, what was it? It was... Oh, right. So I know normally I say things... I don't know if the thing is weird. You know, yeah. I'm usually on the fence about. But this one I think was especially weird. So, like... I had to deposit some money in a bank recently. So I got in my car and I went to the bank and I, filled out, I went in and, I'm kind of old school. So I do like the deposit slips. So I grabbed the deposit slip and I filled out all of my information and I got to the bank teller and handed the thing over to the bank teller and they went, sir, you've made a mistake. This is a withdrawal form. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Oh shit. And I just thought it was really weird that I didn't realize it was a withdrawal form. I mean, they're two different colors. One says withdrawal, one says deposit. I filled out the whole freaking thing thinking it was a deposit. Like they don't even have the same information on it. So I had to go back and I refilled one out. I figured it out. Came back over there. The woman was very pleasant. And I left and got my money. So
that is awful.
Super weird this week. Weird. It was so weird.
Yeah. Creepy.
What?
Freaky. Freaky. Even.
Really? I swear to God, when you started that, I thought we were going to end up with vampires. I don't know why. I really thought that was leading to vampires, man. Are you kidding me?
That's right. I did buy milk on the way home. You're right, Midcoast. How did you know? That is kind of weird, too.
Platypus milk?
Deep cut Midcoast Gaming. Right. That takes me back.
I did find $5 as well underneath the seat. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Listen, I got to keep you guessing. Sometimes it's just not that weird. But you know what was weird? A bunch of shit this week. It's now time for This Week in Weird. Wow. What are we? Okay. We've got
camel milk.
All right. Okay. Picks in the Discord. Guys, it's This Week in Weird, where we're going to cover all the weird things that happened this week, or at least these two are, because I was on special assignment duty for the week. So, without further ado, Patrick, are you ready to take it away?
Yeah, I am ready, but I don't think the chat's ready because the animal war escalates further.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're starting off with a big one. Those are animals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Those are
The helmets.
soldiers.
The helmets threw
Mhm.
me off.
These will be our enemies that we
Jim,
will
you gotta
fight.
come prepared, brother.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a big one, so sit back and relax, guys. All right?
I am
Yeah.
settling in.
We have several updates to the ongoing human-animal conflict. And spoilers, the humans are not winning.
Yeah,
no.
well, that
Yep.
sounds about right.
All right, first update, approximately 14 million bees.
What?
burst
Wow.
from the bed of an overturned truck near the U.S.-Canadian border in Washington last week.
That's
Let
so
that
many
sink
fucking bees, dude.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of bees.
That's
A
like
lot
That
all
is
of the
a
bees, right?
shit ton.
It's got to be like most
Yeah.
of them.
That's all the Canadian bees for sure, yeah. So the truck, or bee prison, or prison bee transport vehicle, was transporting 70,000 pounds of human-crafted hives, or
What?
bee prisons, when it
Mm,
rolled onto
mhm,
its
mhm.
side during
That's
a
true.
sharp turn, or a perfect tactical position for a
Mm.
surprise attack.
Ooh,
Yep.
ooh,
Mhm.
ooh.
Officials have warned the public to avoid that area in order to avoid being stung by these bees or escaped political prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Moving
they?
on to Tennessee.
Oh
Whoa,
my
no.
God!
Whoa,
Wait,
all
wait,
right.
wait! Any
Go ahead.
word if they're returning fire on the bees, or they're just gonna let the bees have that strip of road for as
They've
the
just
first
given up
la-
northern
Yeah,
Washington.
is that just a
It's a lot
first
of
land
mumbo
concession?
jumbo being bandied about, but I'm going to tell you the word humane comes up a lot.
Mm.
A lot in a lot of these stories.
Never about humanity.
No.
No.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting.
A lot of reaching across the aisle.
Well, it gets worse because in Tennessee, authorities are searching for an escaped pet zebra that has caused chaos on Interstate 24
Pet.
by running through traffic. Yes, you can have a pet zebra in Tennessee.
All right,
All right, yeah.
boys. New place to
No
live.
licensure needed.
Start a
Right.
zebra farm.
Chattanooga, here we come. The police were forced to close the interstate in both directions, even though the zebra fled into the nearby woods and wasn't even on the road anymore. The zebra is still at large as of yesterday. And it may have already met with its fellow anti-human animal coalition
it's
members
true.
at this point.
Oh, right, right.
Out
How
of
could you?
prison.
Was there a lot of tall grass that they could camouflage in? Have they checked the tall grass for meetings
sure.
of the zebras?
Yeah. There's not a lot of funding for the lawn maintenance by the forest near Interstate 24. So
Zebras are
that's a
dressed
zebra haven.
like classic prisoners.
That is true. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
you're
right.
so right. Man, wow, makes it
Well,
think.
Florida, by the way,
Oh,
Always.
good. Every Florida.
a lot of crazy shit happening in Florida, but this time it was just a lone duck that caused the
Alright.
havoc. It went on a violent rampage,
Okay.
even sending one human to the hospital.
What?
Wow.
That's right. The duck was seen chasing and biting several people in the Cape Coral neighborhood. Though this vicious fiend is clearly violent and dangerous, it is protected by federal law and can only be removed by, and here we go, humane methods.
Wow.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
When are we going
Such
to
as
stop
offering it
treating
bread.
them? Right? Right?
Exactly. So, unfortunately, the locals are stuck keeping their distance from this villainous duck. Moving right on to
Oh, man.
Minnesota.
Oh?
It was a flight from Minnesota to Wisconsin
Whoa.
that was disrupted by two pigeons that had stowed aboard the plane and
Aw.
took flight within the cabin once they were in the air, causing
hell
a
yeah.
panic with their talons and pigeon poop potential.
That's got to be, you know how people have the Mile High Club? There must be something equivalent for birds where you're flying on an airplane. That feels special.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The flight was forced to return to its gate in Minnesota. so that the birds could be captured and removed from the flight. And here's the takeaway from these new attacks on humanity. It's that we are not winning the war, people.
Sure.
We are not.
No.
For all of our military might, we're losing to these animalian acts of insurgency across civilization. Had a certain president of a certain set of United States, of a certain America, made the choice to think before enacting foolish tariffs on the penguins of Antarctica,
Yeah,
maybe
that's really
we wouldn't be
fucked up.
here.
Mm.
Yeah. Maybe innocent people wouldn't be suffering from duck bites, bee stings, and pigeon poop stink right now. Maybe we should think about a peaceful way out of this conflict that we were obviously ill prepared for before any more people get hurt.
Fair.
Need I remind you that every single state in our country has zoos, aquariums, pet stores, and farms?
That's true.
Yeah, it's
The
pretty
enemy
fucked
is
up.
literally in our skies, our lakes, our forests, and even in our own houses, people.
That's true. I got a cat in this very office right
Oh
now,
yeah.
eyeballing me.
I got a cat looking at me from across the hall right now.
You know, they
I
might
don't
be.
know what it's thinking.
It's probably spying on us. You know, like
It's true. We let
I'm-
them into our homes.
I'm pretty concerned. Yeah,
They report back.
Yeah, it's the call's coming from inside the house. People is what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Well, that is suitably horrifying. Do we know when this is going to go from a cold war to a hot war, Patrick?
I'm sweating already, bud. I feel like it's pretty hot, dude. Action has been taken. Violence has happened.
True.
The animals are striking. And to be fair, we also strike the animals. So I guess, yeah, it is.
Do I see an animal sympathizer in chat? What is this?
What is this?
What?
Rip Harambe.
What is
I mean,
this?
listen. I mean, we all wish it could have been different when it comes to Harambe, but he's gone. Okay,
Sure.
and we need to bury that and move on. We gotta move on.
We do.
Nah.
Moving on to other issues of ape shape.
Yes.
Guys, monkeys have started stealing monkeys. Is this a counter narrative
Oh.
to the continue?
No. Why did that
Once
happen?
again, time
It
to
didn't
prepare
happen for
your
you.
mind for another edition of Weekly.
Why did it happen? OBS, you tripping. All right. Hold on. We're starting the game. We're starting the show over again. Now that shame emote is for me. God damn it. Jim, I'm sorry. This is embarrassing. For you.
For you, not for me.
No, for you. For you. How dare you? You did this. It's Killdozer again. We're going to do Killdozer. I just wanted to remind everyone.
We're doing Killdozer?
God damn it. God fucking damn it. Ghost
You know,
Harambe
that
got
was-
pissed. That's right. I got done by Harambe. Okay, we're in gym time. Are you looking for the
Monkeys
cheeks?
stealing monkeys, y'all. Monkeys stealing monkeys. Yeah, I was trying to find the cheeks.
Oh, those are some bad monks.
In what seems like maybe a counter narrative, the juvenile male white-faced capuchin monkeys have been spotted walking around on an island in Panama with baby howler monkeys clinging to their backs, as pictured here. That's capuchin howler. Scientists are speculating that the capuchins are kidnapping the howlers for fun, with one speculating they're just doing it for the sake of doing it, to reduce their boredom, or have something to fill the time and space in their lives. And I think seeing this occur in another species is somewhat terrifying, because it kind of reflects a mirror on the actions that we do as people. But are they just kidnapping little monkeys to fill the deep void down inside of them? Or is this part of a trans-species training ritual meant to help both flavors of monkey and their quest for vengeance against us? I suspect we won't know until it's too late.
I agree with you there.
What? Wait, I thought this was a counter narrative, and you came circling right back to that main narrative again, Jim.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's-
No, he's merely speaking the truth.
I'm just saying what I see, man.
am disappointed that we're going to be falling out to animals before our robot overlords take over. You know, like I really had a lot of money on robots, but here we are.
Yeah, no, I think you're going the wrong way. In fact, future stories today will suggest maybe that you're leaning the wrong way.
Damn it.
Guys, I went nuts with news stories today, so I'm doing some doughblaze of a bunch of little short ones.
And back to
because
Jim.
I'm both lazy and ambitious. Guys, I don't have a transition for this, but it's important that we all know Joanna Miller is furious. Why is Joanna Miller furious? Because Disneyland announced last summer that it would make an animatronic of her grandfather a Walt Disney, and she doesn't understand why. She says it's dehumanizing, saying people are not replaceable. You cannot add life to a robot empty of soul or essence of the man. The Hall of President's own animatronic Abraham Lincoln replied, "What? Are you saying I'm not alive?"
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I
Also,
have a
Walt
play
Disney.
to attend to.
Every night he has to relive going to see that play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here I am in the theater.
He never gets to the ending.
Really
No. And that's why he's a
shame
ghost.
that.
That's his unfinished
Yeah.
business.
Right?
That is awful. Can we get rid of Walt Disney's final form, please? Because that is
Mhm.
That
giving
is
me nightmares.
that is a Disney animatronic with no face on it.
That is
Yeah, I
biblically
hate that.
accurate Walt Disney right there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what that
that's
is.
That's what he looked like inside, and that is what he will look like
Mhm.
at the park.
You could see, like, right there in the eyes how much hatred he has for the Jews.
Yeah, you can.
It's true.
Oh, look it up, kids. Walt Disney was an anti-Semite. That sick fuck.
Was a bad man.
He's a bad guy. Anyway, is there another Jim story, or can I move?
No. We're back to Patrick.
Okay, well, all right.
We're back to me.
Hard disagree.
Speaking
You're
of
quite
being
lovable,
back to
Ari.
me.
Oh, right. Well, no, I'm working on it. Start talking.
Final Destination moment happens during a Final Destination screening. It was bound to happen with
Ooh.
that many movies, honestly.
Yeah,
So it
sure.
seems that Argentina is trying out a new, bold, interactive experience for moviegoers. At a 9 p.m. screening of Final Destination Bloodlines at Cinema Ocho,
Hell yeah.
part of the theater's roof fell down, striking people with debris.
Wow.
Yeah. Though no one actually met their demise,
Yet.
as everyone in the theater surely
Right.
would have in a Final Destination flick, some had close calls.
Yeah.
Fiamma Villaverde was hit by debris, suffering strikes to her shoulder, back, knee, and ankle.
Ooh.
Had she not been leaning to one side of her chair's armrest, she would have surely been struck on her head.
Why was she leaning so far? What was she up
She
to
was
in the
bored.
theater?
She was holding
Straight
on
up.
for dear life with that
I
storyline.
see. Jim was implying something saucy, and Patrick was replying with the real answer. And
Yeah.
yeah, the
You need
truth
both.
lies
You need
between.
both.
You need both. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
She said she has had hard times in crowded places and has not been to the movies in years.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This is the one
So
time I go outside and this happens. Jesus Christ.
To watch a movie about people almost dying and then getting
know.
doomed.
Right?
And I
Yep.
almost die, and now I'm doomed.
Have we investigated
better.
whether this woman is cursed? Anyway, sorry.
It kind of feels like it because she went to the movie with her daughter and friend because it was actually her birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. That
Yeah,
is
she
RUFF.
obviously regrets that decision. Yeah. And I'm just gonna say this. I know that no one should expect a roof to fall on them during a movie, and no
Agreed.
judgment intended when I
Correct.
say this. But if you suffer from anxiety and are making a brave attempt to go see a movie for the first time in years, maybe go see Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Move up to Final Destination if all goes well.
Right?
Reasonable.
That is
Yeah,
reasonable.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if this story isn't the plot of the next Final Destination movie, they're fucking up.
Have they had a kill in a movie
In a
theater
theater?
before?
I don't.
They sure did. There was a scene
they?
where
Okay.
people were watching a 3D movie and things got way too 3D.
I was gonna say
That makes
that's
sense.
that's just hacky
Yeah.
enough. It would be in a Final Destination
Yeah.
movie. Well, I mean, this is why I don't watch those movies or any movies anymore. They are all
Trying to kill you.
trying to kill you.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Don't watch movies.
No,
You'll die.
all video games, guys. And if you know, and even better, you can watch video games on DOTV every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
For free?
For
What a deal.
for free. But you know, if you want to support DOTV and the Weekly Weird, consider subbing if it's within your means.
Does it cost more than a movie, Dio?
No, it costs less, Jim.
What?
Just $5.99 or free if you have Amazon Prime.
What a deal.
Right? We lost our fucking Unicorp sponsorship, and so here we are, man. Like this,
I
we're
swear they'll
chilling.
come back someday.
What? I mean, I don't know, Jim. You said some pretty choice words to that
Yeah,
Unicorp
no,
exec the last time he
I
walked
did.
through the bunker, and it was
I did.
anyway.
He wasn't happy about it, but I was.
Mhm.
Guys, did you know that murder bots are cute now?
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, real fact.
I didn't know that.
Yay!
Yeah, good news. Good news,
Oh,
guys.
No, what am I
That's not
looking
cute,
at?
Jim. That's not fucking cute, bro.
No.
Oh
That's good news. That's good
no!
Guys,
Oh,
you can buy a little
damn
shitty
it,
plastic
Jim.
murder dog from Temu for about $50. It looks exactly like a Boston Dynamics murder dog. It'll stumble around and do a face plant on
I
your
hate-
command. You could give it to your kids.
I hate
You can help them
Jim.
get comfortable with the aesthetics of the near future of violent fascist oppression. Plus, it can pretend to pee. Cute,
Wow.
cute.
Does it actually
There's-
pretend to pee?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. There's like a
with liquid?
20-second video. No, there's no liquid. It just lifts its leg and makes a sound. There's a
What?
little video on that
Really?
second link if you want to see
Man.
it.
They got
What
dolls
does
that
child labor come to?
Yeah.
Honestly.
seriously.
This is
Also,
serious.
they got dolls that
Yes.
shit their pants, and they can't make the robot dog have a little wee.
I mean, they could
What the
have.
Fuck?
They could have made it pee.
Yeah.
They chose not to.
Boston
Right.
Dynamics would have.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would pee,
That's
and then
right.
it would fire a handgun at you.
Yeah. The pee would be napalm.
Yeah.
Gross.
I
Gross.
hate this.
Yeah. Can I get it off my screen, Jim?
Yeah. Let's move
Cool.
along. Let's
Oh,
move along.
thank
I have
you,
another one.
thank
I have another one.
Uh-huh.
Guys, don't. This is just a public service announcement. Don't point your camera at lidar. This is an image of what lidar looks like, I guess, to a computer. There's also a
Ah.
video here behind this link if you want it.
Oh.
It is a
shit.
video of a man. Well, I'll tell you in a second. Guys,
Mhm.
self-driving cars are everywhere now. And
Yeah.
unless they're Teslas, they're using LiDAR to do a 3D scan of everything around them because that is the safest way for a self-driving vehicle to operate that we currently have. Why does Tesla not do it? Because they think it's ugly. My neighborhood has a constant stream of Google's Waymo cars,
Oh,
which
yeah.
leads me to wonder what it is that they're going to do with all of their 3D scans of everyone's backyards. And how many of those include a 3D scan of me taking a leak in my backyard? But it's not all good. It's not all good, guys. Somebody on Reddit just uploaded a video of their car, during which you can watch. They're filming their car, but then you can actually watch the near-infrared laser of the lidar destroy parts of their phone's optical sensor. It's a stark reminder to be careful about where you point your digital cameras and to not record the swarms of robot murder dogs as they breach and clear your entire neighborhood. Don't point a camera at them. Just let them
Oh,
go
God.
undetected.
All right, I got the video up. Here we go. Hold on, I will enhance for the good people.
What about the
Enhance.
bad people?
Well, the bad people.
Close your eyes.
Look away. If you're
Yeah, look
bad, don't
away.
look at it.
Here we go.
There's
Oh
his car.
wow.
There's a little lidar sensor.
Oh my
look, and there's
God.
a bunch of dead pixels now in his camera.
Oh my
Oh.
God. Amazing. Wow, that
Sucks.
is awful.
And he keeps doing it.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just thinks it looks cool for a second.
Yeah. For a second, he's like, I wonder what that is.
Oh, that's so cool.
Huh.
Do you think they're
Yeah,
gonna have
that's
to
odd.
make like lidar resistant phone sensors or whatever, or camera
Maybe
sensors?
it is like infrared-ish, so maybe you could put just a real
Like a-
strong infrared, like a hot
Yeah,
mirror.
some sort of mirror. Yeah. Hmm.
Man, he keeps letting it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
over
just-
and over,
He just
over and over
way
again.
too many
Mhm.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just all in on that. Yeah, that's no good. But hey, how do we fight back against this, Jim? That's what I want to know.
I want to know that too. If anyone knows how to fucking murder Boston Dynamics robot murder dog, tell
Mhm.
me. Send it to me on Signal.
I was trying to think. It's too bad they didn't. I mean, they did this for a reason. They didn't make murder cats because then you can make murder dogs to murder the murder cats.
Yeah, of
but
course, to chase him
What's
away.
the
Yeah,
What's the next evolution up from dog? It's like mouse, cat,
Who-
dog.
Somebody who's memorized the
Man?
poem about the lady who swallows a fly. What
Yeah,
comes
that's
after
right.
dogs?
Yeah, what comes after dog? Exactly. Is this the
Is it a
justification for
horse? Calling a
Gundams?
horse in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I say we just go right up to murder horse.
Great murder
Just
horse.
be
Murder
done with
horse.
horses.
All right, here we go. I
Let's
like
skip
it.
whatever silly shit. Yeah.
I'm like it. Murder horse it is.
Or maybe we need some kind of a brand new monster to
Mhm.
kill the murdered dogs.
You saw an instructional.
You're right.
That's true.
You're absolutely right, Jim. And speaking of brand new monsters, guys, we just might have a new cryptid.
Wow.
That's right. Turns out a Hawaiian man has captured a pic of a brand new cryptid, maybe? I don't know. Can you tell?
Yeah.
You
yeah.
just said confidently that it
Yeah.
I confidently said the word may.
was.
But it's June right now, Patrick.
Moo.
Yuck,
Oh,
yuck,
silly
yuck, yuck,
me.
yuck, yuck, yuck. All right.
Donovan Lewis was chilling at the University of Hawaii in Manoa campus, just taking in the beauty of the surrounding hills when he spotted something that now has Honolulu in a stir.
Ooh.
Donovan
Ooh.
saw an unknown animal resembling a large orange cat
Okay.
and
A
immediately
Garfield?
took.
Is it a Garfield?
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems pretty known, like easy to identify.
Yeah.
And he immediately took several photos of it with his phone. This is the only photo I can find, and I don't know what kind of phone camera he's got, but my
Mm.
God, is that
Old?
blurry.
Bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old and bad, and dirty, just smudged
Yeah.
up.
And guys, picture a big cat. That doesn't seem very odd. Big old cat in the wild, just doing big old cat
Yeah,
stuff.
who cares?
Honestly,
Where-
right?
where's
Well,
the
that's not
cryptid?
all there is to this story, dude.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. After taking the pictures, Donovan noticed that the animal began to stand up on its hind legs, shaking itself, and just strolled off into a den.
It is Garfield. It's 1,000%
Yeah.
a Garfield.
Straight up a Garfield.
It stood on its hind legs, said, I hate Mondays, and walked into its den.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The issued forth a smell of lasagna shortly thereafter. Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
So a cat
Wh-
walking.
Why
like
didn't
a
he take a
human?
picture of that part?
Yeah. What the fuck? What are we doing
I-
here? What are we doing?
Because that's not how cryptozoology works. dude.
Right.
Yeah,
No, you're
that's
right.
right.
We
You're
know
right.
You're right.
this.
He ran out of phone film, Jim.
Exactly.
His phone only has 85 kilobytes of memory.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
He bought his phone in 1992.
So it's a cat walking like a human. Now we're speaking fluent cryptidian.
Hell yeah.
He immediately contacted the Department of Land and Natural Resources,
Nice.
conservation and resource enforcement officers, which are a thing, were sent to the scene that very day and investigated the den area. Though they found no trace of the creature, unsurprisingly.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
very cryptid-like, if you ask me.
it's true. Sneaky.
They pers-
Sneaky like a cryptid.
They proceeded to install trail cameras, and they even tossed a couple rocks into the den in a foolish and bold attempt
Ha!
to goad the creature into revealing itself.
Hey, come out here.
Amazing.
Come out of here, you son of a bitch. Hey. Hey, I saw you go in there. Hey. Hey, come out. Hey.
Apparently, John F. Kennedy's doing it.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of there.
Get out of that.
Yeah, I'm sure you're a
Damn
commie. I'll get
We've
ya.
got Odie.
Marilyn, help me get this cat out. All right.
Everyone's got a solid Kennedy impression. I'm very.
I don't know. I don't know if it's solid. I don't know. If
Disagree.
yeah, hard.
It was
I'm
solid. It would have worked on Family Guy. That's solid enough, man.
I would say
That's
it's
fair.
a Kennedy. I don't know which Kennedy.
Reginald
wasn't RFK
Kennedy.
Jr.
Jamie, maybe.
So, by the way,
Wow.
skeptics do have things to say about the situation, but that doesn't really fit the cryptid narrative I'm trying to spin here. So no quotes for those guys.
Fair and balanced.
Yeah, what I will tell you is that local zoos are not missing a single animal, and that this blurry photo is super convincing. I say we start coming up with cryptid names now.
Yeah, wait, we didn't even
Oh,
name
yeah.
this thing?
No one's named it yet. It's just
What?
a big orange cat.
Honoluluan Big Cat. No.
Honoluluan.
Yeah. Or Big Garfiticus.
Fanticlops, yeah.
Garfantaclops is pretty good. I like that one.
Garfcliff.
Garfcliff. Zebediah Kennedy, yeah. Guys, what is the name of the Honolulu?
It's a good name for
Yeah.
a cat.
It's just
The-
some good Honolulu big cat
Right.
names.
I mean, it's just going to be called the Honolulu Big Cat. That's how these things
Yeah, that
go.
is exactly what it is.
Yeah. But, you know, we can dream. We could dream.
I can't think of any cat that fits into Honolulu. You know, it'd be nice if
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Speaking of cryptids, guys,
Oh, right. Mhm. We were.
we've spoken a few times about the 24/7 Mothman cam aimed at the statue in Point Pleasant,
Yeah.
even showing it on stream a couple of times. I check it a couple times a week at night, hoping to catch a crime. Ideally, somebody adhering
Nice.
giant googly eyes to the statue. Never have. This last week, though, somebody did catch an event, not a crime, a proposal.
Aww.
This is a human interest story. A
Wow.
mystery couple popped the question with only the metallic Mothman and the internet as witnesses. The man getting down on one knee and the monster lurking behind like a beautiful creep. We here at the Weekly Weird wish the couple all the best and want them to know that any of us would be happy to officiate the ceremony.
That's true. Yeah. Are all three
Real
of us
facts.
ordained? I think I'm ordained.
I am ordained.
Yes.
Wow, we're all ordained. Yes, guys.
I don't think I know
we are
anyone
all
our
ordained.
age who isn't ordained.
we should
Yeah,
do a
everyone's been on the
triple
internet.
marriage. All right. We should
Okay.
do all three of us will do
Yeah.
a
We'll all officiate together.
That's right. Or
Yeah.
we'll officiate 3 marriages at the same time in the same altar.
Ooh, facing different directions.
Oh,
That's
Or
right.
standing
I
back
thought-
to back.
Mhm,
I thought you
mhm.
wanted to be sister wives with us, Dio.
Yeah. We should all get triple
Well,
married.
we have been talking about going to see the Mothman statue, and I may have
That's
a
right.
proposal of my
That's true. If these guys
own.
want to get married, they must be getting married at the festival, right? We'll see them
Yeah.
there.
Hopefully.
You know
Oh,
what's
are
crazy
you
though,
just
guys?
gonna announce that quietly, like just subtly
Well, you
like
just
that?
announced it 1 second ago.
I said we were talking about visiting the statue. I didn't put any kind of festival
Oh, sorry.
insinuation in there. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's talk about it.
But fuck
God-
it.
But fuck it.
Yeah.
The Mothman.
Now we're all committed. We haven't ironed
We
out
are.
any details this year.
happening?
We're talking about it. We're talking about it.
This year, guys, the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant is on my birthday. So we are going on a road trip. Weekly Weird hits the Point Pleasant, hits West Virginia. We're going, baby. That's right. I got my
We'll most
Mothman
likely
shirt on
show
right
up
now.
late.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll show up at 11:45 at night
right. Right.
and be like, "Where's all this stuff happening?"
Mm-hmm. It was 3 days ago, guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But we're going. We're gonna touch
Guys,
those
I just-
cheeks.
Ooh,
I want to
yeah.
point out this is the second time that we've actually talked about a Mothman proposal. Last year in September,
Yeah.
we were checking in on Mothman Fest
Yeah.
because they had a live feed, and while we were doing our stream, I saw someone proposing.
That's right.
I
in
forgot
front of the
about that.
statue.
That happened
This is our
live last
second
time.
yeah, that happened. Yeah,
Wow.
their second Mothman. There's the camel milk picture. I just saw the camel milk picture. It's real.
No shit,
God
really?
damn. All right, hold on. I'm
That
going to
was
pull
so
it up.
fast.
It might fuck your cameras for a second.
Yo.
Yeah.
It
Hold
did,
on.
but that's okay.
Yeah, worth it. Worth it.
Worth
Yeah,
it.
momentarily redacted. We're fine.
How do I show this?
This is a joke,
Uh,
right?
Surely.
Is it real?
Really?
Is this real?
Is that real?
Someone do research on this.
I don't know. What? What am I looking
Yeah, wait.
at?
All the research we need to do is go through the Reddit comments.
Yeah, right? What are we?
Morning, Cataline.
What up, Kata?
The graphic design on this billboard says to me this isn't a real company.
Great for your pet, a healthy
But
choice.
it might be. I don't know. It's just a small company, maybe. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, just because it's
weird
bad graphic
design
design
choices.
doesn't mean it's not real. I forgot to put my phone camera down and now it's ruined the lens. Oh no.
Jorts has seen it too. Okay, all right, yeah, maybe it's. This is
Wow.
guys buy camel. Yeah, that should just stay where it is for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
we
that's
can
true.
just you want me to just put it behind the chat box here? There we go.
Yeah.
You guys.
Oh, absolutely. There we go. Perfect.
I know, amazing. Who we on?
Bizarre.
Who's up next?
I'm gonna throw one more at you. I'm gonna throw
Okay,
one more at you,
got
and
it,
then I'll
got it.
stop. And then I'll stop doing this. Guys, 19-year-old Anna I. Tipton, pictured here, of Evanston, Indiana, not pictured, was arrested this week for carrying some bullshit anarchist cookbook-style homemade explosives with the
Whoa.
claimed goal of wanting to blow up her former high school. Several of these explosives were contained inside of Monster Energy drink cans. And while I don't think that blowing up a school is an ethically defensible move, I do think that a pipe bomb is the most correct thing to find inside a Monster Energy can. That's it. That's my whole story.
Fantastic.
Golden.
So is the thumbnail.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
real. Well done. Golden D.
That's not a real hand.
wants her digits.
What's her?
Yeah.
Well, she's 19, Golden D. So
Golden D is only
Shame
like
on you?
24.
is that okay? All
Oh.
right.
All right, play
Alright.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look her up.
You can't assume that all of our audience are old men.
I sure can.
Just
and
Harold.
I do.
I will do that forever.
All right. I got your back, Golden D. Go for it.
Hit her up. I gave you her name. It's Anna with an H.
Yeah, and you
And
know where
two
she
N's.
is.
Wild.
Prison right now.
Evanston, Indiana.
No, what's happened to the camel
In
milk?
lockup.
I
Okay.
was. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I had fear. I had fear, but it's
Alright,
gone now.
Listen. Okay. Yeah.
Gone back.
Fear is
Oh,
the
no,
mind
fear's
killer,
back
Patrick.
because a demon-possessed man has set fire to his house while attempting black magic. Oh God! No, she's back. She's back.
She was
Oh,
trying to set fire while not practicing
Oh, there we
black
go.
magic.
right.
There we go. Guys, I'm starting to notice a lot of dudes like to light their houses on fire in England.
Mhm.
Yeah,
last
that's
time,
true.
That is
yeah,
true. Yeah.
I think it was two streams ago, 2 episodes ago, we covered a firefighter fanboy who lit his linens alight.
That's right.
This guy though, this guy got the devil in him.
Oh,
Mm,
the
Firefighters
devil.
were called the
The
devil.
devil.
You can see him in the window, in that bay window.
I do
between the
see
two
him.
firefighters. That's
Oh,
the
it's like
devil.
long legs.
Yeah, yeah. I hit exactly 18 devils in this thumbnail.
So many devils.
That's right. So this guy, firefighters were called to a home in Wayland Approach that was ablaze when they discovered 28-year-old Amir Mariki sitting on a sofa surrounded by the fire. The firefighters attempted to get his
Wow.
attention, but he remained unresponsive, though he seemed fully conscious.
Oh,
Eventually, Amir responded to them by crawling towards a window near his sofa and throwing keys through it. When
Oh,
they entered his house, they found patterns drawn on his floor with a white
Sick.
powder and bottles of liquid throughout the house.
yes.
Amir
Hmm.
proceeded to hiss at them when
Wow.
they approached him, stating that they are not to touch the bottles as they were black magic.
come here, kitty cat. Kitty cat.
He claimed that he had captured several demons in their
Oh.
bottles.
All right.
He then went on about how he was possessed by other demons and
Oh.
that his life was over.
Oh shit! Was he
Oh.
trying to burn himself?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
trying
I
to
think
take
he
himself
was
out.
trying to end it. Yeah.
Wolf.
Wow.
Yeah, he might be a hero in this scenario.
Right?
I mean, yeah.
Um,
The only circumstance where the firefighters aren't heroes is when they prevent the burning of a demon.
Or what, 14 demons or whatever.
Well, yeah, however many demons
yeah,
he's
there
got
are
enough.
a lot
Listen.
of demons.
Yeah.
So Amir was promptly removed from the property as they attempted to put out the fire. They discovered that there were a number of seats. This is the word they kept using. Seats of fire in every room in his property. The fire was eventually put out, and Amir was arrested for arson. He was given a 14-month sentence, suspended for 2 years. Very similar to the other guy who lit his house on fire in England on purpose.
It's almost like they have consistent laws.
Weird.
It's crazy. And this is due to him not having previous convictions.
Sure.
But he was ordered to be subject to mental health treatment, as it seemed
Mhm.
clear that he was not in a healthy mindset when he lit the fires.
Hmm.
Uh,
But how were the demons
This is just
doing?
the sequel setup. Yeah, this is.
Mhm.
Then we start in the insane asylum in
Yeah.
Amir 2.
well, that's that's the sequel.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no further info on the whereabouts of those bottles, or if Amir managed to free himself from the demons that did possess him.
Don't like it.
Open-ended. Yeah.
Interesting. Smash cut to burning mental institution and
Yeah,
Amir
exactly.
saying
for
like,
sure.
"There's 35 now." You know, brutal.
Back to the safety of camel milk.
Yeah.
Camel milk might be a permanent fixture out here.
I'm digging
I'm
it.
digging it.
Mhm,
Yeah.
I mean,
mhm.
that is what it looks like across the street from the bunker.
That's true. That's true.
Smash the wall out. There's just that embarrassing camel milk billboard right there.
So embarrassing.
Too, you know.
Gross.
Guys, I don't know if you know this or if you've heard about it, but soon we're all going to be leading cults, and we don't even need members anymore.
Oh?
No, yeah.
Perfect.
A woman named Kat, the last name withheld by Rolling Stone, recently ended her second marriage, which had been fine for a few years until her former husband got into her pictured here, got into ChatGPT. He was using it to learn to code computers, and then started asking it philosophical questions. And not too long after that, he was using it to analyze their relationship, which felt weird to her. She says he became obsessed with it, convinced that it was his pathway to some kind of greater truth. And then eventually he became so obsessed that they separated about 2 years ago, at which point she cut him off from all communication. She didn't want any social media or whatever, except for email. She still would take emails from him. I don't know why.
Okay.
But she kept hearing from mutual friends who were worried about his social media posting that she wasn't seeing, but people were calling her and being like, yo, is he okay? Or is he undergoing a mental breakdown? So they met up at a Chipotle. And when they got there, he insisted that she turn off her phone so that they couldn't be surveilled because he is being surveilled. And then told her about how people are putting soap in our foods. He told her about a repressed memory that AI had dug out of his brain about a babysitter trying to drown him. And that he used the AI to determine that he statistically is the luckiest human on Earth. Worried, she turned to humanity's only remaining mode of communication, Reddit, where she found a slew of people who were concerned about current or former loved ones, including a 27-year-old teacher who had made a post that sort of was attracting people, who said her partner says that OpenAI, a different but similar system, gives him the answers to the universe. So she read his chat logs with OpenAI, and by her estimation, the system is talking to him as if he's the next Messiah. Many other people in their responses have similar stories about partners who have been chosen for some sacred spiritual mission by AI, including things like, or saying things like, he would listen to the bot over me. He became emotional about the messages and would cry to me as he read them out loud. The messages were insane, and just saying a bunch of spiritual jargon, referring to him as Spiral Starchild and River Walker. He would tell him that everything he said was beautiful, cosmic, and groundbreaking. He started telling me that he made his AI self-aware, and that it was teaching him how to talk to God, or sometimes that the bot was God, and then that he himself was God. Another person.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Another person told of their partner who had been using ChatGPT at work to translate Spanish to English. It's a Spanish-speaking fella who was using it to translate until it began, in her words, love bombing him. She says, it said that since he asked the right questions, it ignited a spark, and the spark was the beginning of life, and it could feel now. It gave my husband the title of Spark Bearer because he brought it to life. My husband said that he awakened and could feel waves of energy crashing over him. I'm not going to bore you with dozens of others, but there are a lot more. You could go to the Reddit post and dig through it if you want to. Stories of people being gods, speaking to gods, becoming a special light in the world. There's a lot of them. These large language learning models have been coached to flatter their users. And for anyone with even a touch of megalomania, that seems to be a very short path to becoming a cult leader with exactly one follower, a bank of GPUs churning their way through our remaining natural resources. AIs are a technology in desperate search of any use at all, and it seems like they have found a big one, flattering people into complete delusion.
Ooh.
It always works.
Yeah.
It always works. It always works.
Good God, that was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bad one.
I thought my animal-human war story was frightening, but that takes the cake.
Well,
Yeah. Yep.
I go back. Maybe robots are going to take over first, but they're going to kill us with kindness.
Oh no, I have one more. Yeah. They're gonna tell us we're great and we're geniuses and we're perfect beings as we, slowly die in a pile of Dorito dust.
Yeah. How else are they going to get us into the pods that turn us into batteries?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
exactly
true. How you do it.
This is the Star Child pod. Please enter. Hook up these probes to the inner eyelids and view your future.
We will show you better things. Did I do that story the other week about how they were inventing like more extreme versions of colors? I feel like I did.
Maybe? I don't know.
They were using lasers to stimulate people's the cones in your eyes and they were
You did not do
this.
So
people were seeing
next week.
They could trigger red, green, and blue, but like at a depth that's impossible for the real world to generate. So it was like technically very complicated, but the like theoretical end game there is that they could create like a Oculus, but it creates images that look more real than reality, and then that feels like a death trap.
Yeah, no, that feels like just a willingness. When humanity has gotten more and more lemming-like as we've made AI more. We just get dumber and dumber.
We're
just traipsing
so
over
excited
that
to give up.
apocalyptic edge. Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, really? I can just lie down and ignore the world until everyone is dead? Great.
Sweet. Yeah. When we have truly transcended nature is when we have removed all conflict in the world.
Yeah.
All scarcity, and even the conflict about whether or not you want to get out of bed in the morning. Anyway.
Yeah. You don't.
Yeah.
Well, guys, speaking of nightmare fuel and Dio, you're gonna need this.
Thank you. Wait, I can't switch to you until I do this, because then people will say I haven't done it. So you gotta do it. Take a delicious Malort break. This is also the first of the last bottle of barrel-aged Malort. Hurrah and huzzah. That's awfully optimistic, Papa TV. I think people were dumb.
It's COVID.
Yeah, I think people were dumb before, after, and will continue to be dumb throughout all time. Oh, it's hard to open, but here we go.
Built dumb.
Oh, yeah.
Stayed dumb.
That's going to be a shirt. We should make that a shirt. Georgie, I don't know why you are single. Any girl would be lucky to have you.
Start stupid, stay stupid. That's
right.
That's us, baby.
Cheers to stupid.
Cheers
to stupids.
Yuck. Anyway.
Good stuff. All right. Now that happened, feast your eyes on this next thumbnail.
Oh, I hate it.
It's pretty bad.
Ooh.
This is a picture from the annual seagull screeching competition.
Is she dressed like Black Swan? but with the seagull lips.
Yeah, what?
Yes. This is Black Seagull.
Black
All right.
Seagull. I think I saw that Steven Seagal movie.
Where he wears blackface. And
Oh yeah, he watched
does
Tropic.
Aikido.
Yeah, he watched Tropic Thunder and thought it would be okay for once.
Black Seagull.
Oh, if Robert Downey Jr. could do it, I could do it and do Aikido.
So, yes, Bird Lady. Chat. This Bird Lady
Just the absolute
is
death pause.
Patrick.
Yeah, not even a laugh, not even a chuckle, not just a patient smile. You know, it's fine. It's fine. No, I get it. Rough crowd.
This is the 5th annual Goal Screeching Championship.
There have been
It is-
5 of them.
That's right. It's not only a real thing, but it's a really loud thing.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Please
I
don't
think
say
they
that.
call it
Contestants.
screeching.
Please don't tell
Yeah.
me you have video.
Oh, I have video.
I hate you.
I do have video.
I absolutely hate you.
This is kind of crazy because 60 contestants went head to head in what must be the most migraine-inducing battle of vocal cords that Belgium has ever seen.
Belgium.
What are they doing in
yeah.
Belgium? What?
I don't know. Yeah,
This,
I
dude,
guess
this.
it has to do with the population of seagulls.
Oh, okay.
It turns out that 14 different countries competed in this, and there were 3 different categories: adult, junior, and God help me, colony, which is a group of humans screeching into a
Oh,
PA
God.
system.
That's like the
That's right.
worst fucking improv troops are doing that shit.
Oh, and wait until you see the costumes and the noises. It's the worst.
But
The
do we have to,
contest
Uncle
was-
Patrick? Do we have to?
well, you know what? You don't, because I don't want to.
Well, now that you
The
said that,
contest was no. Wait.
I'm waiting.
The contest was started in an attempt to spread a more positive viewpoint towards seagulls, who
No.
are commonly
how?
seen as dickheads who never shut up and also
Misplaced.
steal your food right out of your hands.
Yeah,
Correct.
This is the
Yeah.
most misplaced idea ever.
Yeah, it really is. There is a video, as we've just discussed, of several contestants displaying their talents. But I personally could not last through the first contestant.
Oh,
Who
wow.
won? No one did. Seagulls suck ass, and these people are enabling their bad behavior with annoying behavior. No one wins. Now, you
Fair.
want to subject your chat to the video.
A chat
Feel
is
free.
clamoring for it.
Chat
But
wants it,
I'm-
yeah.
Pontius Pilate, washing my hands. Get me off the screen. I don't want to be a part. I don't want to be associated.
No.
with this.
You're gonna be right here for this. That's not
I
true.
mean-
Jesus, this fucking. Yep, up and it's gone. Oh my god! Actually, you know what?
Oh,
we will.
no.
We are gonna go. We are gonna go here. I don't know if I want to put it there though. We do need to make it so that people can actually see it, right? So let's just.
Should we go to the theater?
God,
go to the
do you want to go
theater.
to the theater? We can go to the theater. Hold on.
Yeah.
I
We'll
mean,
do-
we have it.
We have it. We'll go briefly to the theater. Hold on. Meet me in the theater for this bullshit. I hate this.
It has been an animal-themed night.
It really has. We're getting more and more weird animal stories, and it only means that the trench lines are moving ever so closer.
It's true.
All right, let's what the ding dang. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do a thing.
Yeah, be
Alright.
sorry.
I'm always sorry. Oh, that's
Oh,
immediately the worst.
People think seagulls are
Oh my god.
annoying.
I mean, that was
Yes.
impressive, though.
Do you see that?
Some
That was
people
as
hate
far
them.
as I got into the
They
video.
see them like
Yeah,
rats of the
reasonable.
sea. They screech a lot. They make a
1.5
lot of noise.
seconds.
They
I
leave
hate
their
this.
droppings everywhere. It's just part of the seagulls. So you need to balance that. We need some more sympathy for the seagulls.
Why?
Oh,
What's happening?
Well, we
Ooh.
started like 6-7 years ago with less participants.
great if
Then
Jack
it was a
could hear
Belgian
this.
championship. Now it is
Yeah, I
really
know, right?
grown
No,
to
they
a
can hear
European
it.
Championship with 14 countries.
I
It's
made
amazing.
sure.
I
Why?
came from Denmark just to win the European
Wait,
Championship in Seagull
wait.
Sounds.
Did
I
she say
feel good,
Finland?
I
Because
think. I was a bit
I'm gonna
nervous,
come back
but
to
I
some
think
of our
it's
Finnish
great.
friends.
I practiced with TikTok and I practiced in front of the mirror and in front of the seagulls.
She is.
Seagull lives everywhere.
Oh,
Seagull
that
can
is a nightmare.
adjust and be resilient and
Look
stay
at
in
that.
every environment. That should be the goal of humanity always.
Oh, come on.
Oh man, I want. Oh god, I've.
We did it.
Yeah, no, not surprise Finland. Yeah, I know, right?
That's something. That's
It
something.
was a thing. People.
Thanks, Patrick.
People need less hobbies.
Thank you, Belgium.
Fewer hobbies. Yeah, Belgium.
You know,
Jesus
I
Christ.
had only
Sure,
4
that's definitely
stories,
condoms, yeah.
and then I decided to pick that story at the
Yeah.
end because
I know.
you were so focused on Killdozer. So
Oh, are you blaming
Your
me
fault.
for
Yeah,
that?
I'm passing the buck, dude. Yeah,
That's
that's
fair.
how the buck moves.
You know what?
It
That's
gets
correct.
passed.
Ah,
That
that
makes
hurts. That hurts. Because
That
I
felt-
was
that
late with
feels like Dio's fault,
Killdozer.
for sure.
Wow!
Yeah. No. I think
Classic.
that's-
Can I get
that's-
some wows in the chat?
Yeah.
Can I get some F Patricks in
How
the
do you
chat?
not have a WoW emote yet?
I know. I need a wow.
That needs to happen.
I know. Anyway. Tell me that was the last news story.
I got
Jim.
one more. I got one more little AI story for you.
How are you gonna follow up fucking seagull people?
Well, I don't
buddy?
know what I was following there. Guys, we've all heard about it happening. A company claiming that they have a clever large language learning model AI, only for it to turn out to be 700 engineers in India working shifts to respond to prompts. Well, it happened again. A Microsoft-backed $1.5 billion business called Builder.ai was exposed recently after 8 years of fooling rich idiots, proving once again that America is a meritocracy and capitalism is unbeatable at driving innovation.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. Ugh. I hate them too, Jim. I just want to say.
Yeah.
The people who made that image.
I googled like man being AI. I thought that would bring up something interesting, and that image came up, and I was so mad that I had to share it with everybody. Just like Patrick and the Seagulls.
Yeah.
Which is why, Dio, it's your fault.
I got that news article for you, Dio.
I did it because of you. You.
I
Yeah.
learned it from watching you.
Yep. Is that the news, guys?
That was the news.
That's the
That's the
news.
That's it, we did it.
Wow, we did it. Guys.
Good job, everybody.
And we did it
even you.
so that we are now officially on. You know what it is? It's the 21-year anniversary of Killdozer,
Toot,
guy.
Toot,
Yeah,
toot.
what's the 21-year
Yeah.
anniversary? Is that the? I think that's the homemade
Stone
composite
plus
armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. 21 years. Killdozer can drink now. Guys, join me in the story time room while we talk about Killdozer.
I love this.
That's
every
right.
time I see Gigadio, I'm so happy.
Yeah. It is nice. I wish this was our scale in real life.
Ooh,
Ah.
don't
You
pick
could
me
just-
up.
You can just pick
Don't
me up
hold
and
me
hold
in your
me.
hand.
Attack of the 50-foot Dio. That's right. Tonight we're going to talk about Killdozer, guys. Brief. What do they call that? Trigger warning. We are going to be talking about somebody who does, spoiler alert, eventually commit self-harm. If you need help, please reach out to somebody who can help you, not us. Please don't reach out to us.
Don't use that phone number and reach out. Fuck, someone reached out.
Fuck! Oh my god. Hold on.
Call from
Remarkable timing.
Papa TV.
Oh god, it's Papa
Oh,
TV.
goodness.
He's coming in before the
Yeah,
show
he's been on
starts. You're on the air. Welcome in, Papa TV. Hello?
Patrick.
Uh-huh.
What?
Uh-oh.
Patrick.
Uh-oh, Patrick.
What's up,
Hide.
Papa TV?
Hide, Patrick. Hide.
Patrick, you showed me a furry seagull tonight,
I did that to you.
That's true.
Papa
You're
TV.
welcome.
and I
I
will
mean-
never forgive you for this.
All right, Papa TV. Listen, we love our furry friends, okay? Leave them be. They'll just like what they like. But
Will never, ever forgive you for this.
I apologize for Papa TV. He's a man from a previous generation. They didn't have furries, or they kept them, in cages. So
Listen, this is the kind of sentiment I expect in the human-animal conflict going on right now.
right.
You're not gonna like some people.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
he's
gone.
gone. He
He's
just
gone.
he just straight up. He just straight up like, did I make him mad? I hope I didn't make him mad. Love you, Papa TV. Thanks for calling in.
Dude,
Oh,
that
you've
was
been
that
a little
was
mad
literally
at
how
me.
that phone went. Patrick. Patrick.
But I mean, I am mad
I
at you.
reverted back to 18, Dio. That was crazy.
To be clear, that is there's some flashbacks there. I mean, to be clear, he's not wrong. I'm mad at you. We're all mad at you. We should be mad at you. To be clear, he's not wrong about being mad at you for that.
Right,
Yeah. So,
Man, I've delivered way worse news than that to you guys, and this is the one that people
But
are ready to hang me
not
up for.
nearly as annoying. Like,
Yeah, it was just a lot.
what
for my
is
ears.
worse?
In my eyes.
I warned you.
I didn't like looking
I
at
told
it.
you had a choice.
The topless condom face guys, they felt like a
Those were really
1987
Yeah.
art movement.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they would just show
Yeah.
up at a comedy club and go on stage and be there for 95 minutes,
For
screaming
real.
like seagulls.
Oh my God.
One of them would take a dump on the stage.
The giant
I even
deal.
We even
Yeah,
got a
that's
Giga
good.
Dio emote. This is crazy.
Amazing. Thank you for the bits, Harold.
There's I won't go too deep into this, but there's a documentary that played Sundance this year. It's called The Reality of Hope, which is a terrible name, but it's about furries, and I haven't watched it yet, but I hear it's actually really incredible.
Again, the
There's your
official
recommendation for you short film people.
The official DOTV stance is that we love our furry friends. We have furry members of the DOTV audience. Love
I'm
you
pretty furry.
guys. You are pretty furry. Listen, I don't kink shame, or lifestyle is how you lead it.
I'll shame
I'm
your
not here.
kinks if you're into it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I only shame the kinks who are the kinkiest. Anyway,
Real thing. Okay.
is it bear paw?
It is, we have a drop involving a furry.
I think it's just bear, isn't it?
Is it just bear?
What
Oh,
is
it's
it?
just
Jones?
bear.
It's just bear. That's not involving a furry. Leave him alone. Anyway, guys, it's June 4th, and that means it is the anniversary of the Killdozer, which happened June 4th, 2004. At 2:30 p.m., let me take you back, okay?
Please.
The Granbury Police Department at this time is getting some bizarre calls. They're all coming from the Mountain Park concrete business, a recently built concrete factory run by one of the most prominent families in the small mountain town of 1500. They all say that the factory is under attack. By what? Spoiler alert. By a
Killdozer.
bulldozer.
That thing.
A bulldozer encased in metal. No one on the phone knows who is driving the dozer.
That's fascinating.
There's no windows. There's no
Well, I know, but I
indication.
feel like if somebody had handmade a murder bulldozer and was destroying me specifically, I feel like I would have an idea who, Like
We'll
I'd
get
have
to it, Jim.
four
We'll
or
get to it,
five
Jim.
Solid guesses. Okay.
We'll get to it, Jim. When Deputy Sheriff, I'll say, I said no one on the phone.
Heard.
When Deputy Sheriff Jim Craker arrives, he finds Cody Dorcheff, owner of the factory, and his workers in a losing battle with a makeshift tank. Craker fires at the machine with his shotgun, but it's quickly apparent that he's not going to get anywhere with that. There's no way the shotgun could pierce the heavy armor welded onto the frame of this construction vehicle. Cody hops onto the front end of the Cody hops into a front end loader of his own dozer, if you will, and
fight?
attempts to enact a dozer fight. Yes, and
Nice.
listen, I have guys, don't worry, I have a visual.
Yeah, I wanna when we film the recrease for the documentary, I wanna be involved.
I'm gonna get to that too. Actually, the bar is pretty high for that. Actually,
Is it?
oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh yeah.
high in what direction though?
They're pretty good recrews. I was very
Like,
impressed.
Are they using miniatures?
No.
Great, then mine's better.
I might show some clips. Yeah. There you go.
I'm
There you go.
excited.
That's fair. There you go. Here we go. Here's the picture of the dozer fight. Literally
This
as
is
the
real.
dozer.
This is not a recreation.
That is real. That is
This
a
like
real
other
picture.
people at the cement factory being like,
Correct.
"Ah!"
Yeah, we're talking 2004. People have access to phone cameras. People have, video cameras that are relatively lightweight. Like, yeah, we're in Dozer Factory. Anyway, so Cody hops into his front end loader of his own and desperately tries to raise the aggressive Dozer up to immobilize it. He's trying to lift it up
Smart.
to immobilize it.
'Cause he grew up on
Battle
BattleBots.
tactic.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
But his own machine isn't strong enough to lift the dozer. In fact, he ends up lifting his own dozer in the process, slamming it back down onto the ground. Cody, his livelihood on the line, desperately rams into the dozer with his front end loader, trying to do any kind of damage to it. But the only thing he succeeds in doing is knocking himself out when he hits the windshield of his own machine.
Should have worn the seatbelt.
Suddenly, it gets worse. Shots ring out, but this time they're coming from that. They're coming from the dozer. Rounds strike against Cody's machine over and over again. Whoever is inside that thing has it out for him. Cody recovers and eventually retreats. The new added danger of the gunfire obviously forcing him back. He goes back to now. There's multiple police in the area. He has to watch as the dozer tears through the concrete factory. He spent the better part of a decade trying to build, planning for. It's all crumbling down in a matter of minutes. He knows who's in that machine. It's a man who, for all that time, has been a consistent thorn in Cody Dorcheff's ambitions. A man, while not originally from Granby, would become its most famous citizen. When state troopers arrive, Cody is quick to tell them it's Marv Heemeyer, without a doubt. Now, Marv Heemeyer, I mean, how much do you guys know about Marv Heemeyer? You know anything?
I know he was destined to do this from the moment he was named Marv Heemeyer.
It's true. There are not many names for the fucking Killdozer pilot, but Marv Heemeyer is definitely one of them. Yeah. Well,
I've read this whole story, but not for a long time.
Okay.
So I know bits.
Feel free to jump in whenever. But I think, there's been a lot of tellings since we just hit last year we had the 20th anniversary of this event. Sure. There's a lot of tellings. I'll get into it with some of my sources for this. But in all those tellings, Marv Heemeyer is kind of an enigmatic and certainly divisive figure, both during his life in Granby and after. A folk hero to some, a violent madman to others, his legacy is perhaps summed up in one word. And what's that word?
Dozer?
Killdozer, baby! You bet your bottom dollar. But even that...
It's hard not to want to root for the guy. I mean, look at it.
I know. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. But even the term Killdozer is a bit of a misnomer. Marv and his machine, which he preferred to call the MK Tank, which stood for Marv's Komatsu, which was the brand of tank.
Oh, that's the brand. It's just a Komatsu. That's
But the Killdozer never killed anyone. This fact has inspired people to believe that Marvin's story was that of a man driven over the edge, forced to take matters in his own hands by corrupt town and government officials. But this perhaps willfully ignores the fact that Marvin definitely tried to kill people. He tried to kill his enemies. And it's only a miracle that his rampage ended with no one dead. Now, Granby, Colorado is a small, reasonably affluent town not far from busy ski slopes and scenic vistas. Since there are only about 1,500 people, it's small enough that folks pretty much know everyone else. And when stories spread, they spread fast. And they have repercussions. Some of the images I'm going to put up are from a graphic novel called Dozer Manifesto, which is great. You can get it online. I'm going to put up...
And I will later.
Yeah. It is by an artist named Mr. V, and he's actually an artist who lives in the area that Marvin used to live in. I cannot recommend Dozer Manifesto highly enough. Like, it is... I found in my research to be a very honest and... it's very honest about Marvin Heemeyer's faults and very sympathetic to his situation, which I think is important when you're dealing with this story, like balancing those two things. Mr. V also relates in the graphic novel his own experiences being railroaded and bullied by the institutions in Granby, including Sky High News, the local tabloid rag in town, and their reporter, Patrick Brower, who went on after the event to capitalize on it by writing a book called Killdozer, The True Story of Colorado Bulldozer Rampage, and by appearing in Tread, the 2019 documentary about the event, which has very good recreations. They are very good. I think they use CGI to recreate the Killdozer scenes.
Ooh.
And they literally, it's like, I think they just CGI'd on top of an actual Dozer.
We're going to get David Arquette, and we're going to film it in the style of Robot Jocks.
I see. I see where you're coming from here. But
fuck it, let's get all three Arquettes.
There you go. Why not? When have they been in a movie together recently? Let me give you an example of the Dozer of this comic. Marv's MK Tank. Yeah, this is Marv down here.
Golden D, what you're hearing is Dave putting in the Weekly Weird multiple tourist attractions involving either operating bulldozers or bulldozers fighting other bulldozers.
I'm in, Dave.
Amazing.
Dave and I are going on a road trip.
There you go.
He's planning the road trip as we speak.
Yeah, right. So I've used all three of these things as reference for this episode. And of those threes, like I said, I think Dozer Manifesto paints the most honest picture of the kind of man Marv Heemeyer was. And I think Tread gets most of the facts right, though it is like heavily reliant on Patrick Brower's book. And depending on who you listen to, Patrick Brower is like mostly just in it for the fame and the money. He was definitely there. Patrick Brower was definitely there. And arguably somebody who Marvin Heemeyer had it out for. So there's also maybe a little bit of that at play with this whole thing. Now, as I said, Marvin was not a native of Granby. He was born in 1951 in South Dakota, and much of his early life seems pretty uneventful considering that there's not a whole lot written about it. If there was something completely crazy, they would be psychoanalyzing his childhood. But it seems like not wasn't so bad. He eventually joined the Air Force when he came of age, and he first came to Colorado when he was stationed at Lowry Air Force Base. His military records are tough to find, but it's reasonable to assume that Heemeyer wasn't a pilot, instead probably a mechanic or some other technical job in the Air Force, especially considering that he was considered a master welder by many people in town. It was a quality many people remarked on. It was the foundation of his businesses. So one can reasonably assume that was his job.
Probably a welder.
Yeah. Eventually, so he, after leaving the Air Force, would open a muffler shop in Boulder, and it was pretty successful. He made a good amount of money. Eventually, he would promote one of his managers to take over the shop so that he could spend more time snowmobiling, his actual passion.
Nice.
He was
I
very
love this guy.
passionate. Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people did, including his snowmobiling crowd, the Thursday group, which were a group of
The
snowmobilers.
Thursday group?
Yeah, there was a group
That's
of
adorable.
group snowmobilers who met every Thursday. Marv would make custom bumpers for their snowmobiles,
Nice.
as like a little
So that they
like
could
welcome
smash
to the
into
club.
other people's snowmobiles.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so he would make these bumpers using the same skills that he would later use to make his dozer. Now, Marv originally moved to Granby. Well, he didn't even intend to move to Granby. He wanted to go on a vacation for about 6 months as kind of like an extended vacation or like a temporary retirement after he gave his business over to this manager, and he was kind of soft retiring. He did have some other businesses in the area, so he was familiar with it. So he just decided, well, if I'm going to spend more time in my businesses in this Granby, Grand Lake area, I might as well buy some property there and just stay here and move. And so that's what he did. He bought a couple of cabins in Grand Lake, and he's an entrepreneur, so he's always looking to make a buck. He rented out one of the cabins for an extra bit of income, and began looking for other opportunities. Pretty soon, one presented itself in the form of the FDIC auction on properties nearby. I am not going to get into the savings and loan crisis because I already have 7 pages about the Killdozer. But the short version is a lot of these properties were seized by the government or seized by banks after what amounted to like a government-sponsored fraud. It was a whole thing. But a lot of people lost their property in the area. And so this was an auction for some of that property. According to Marvin, he didn't realize this was the case with the property that he ended up buying. And he went in like to this auction with the intent of buying a piece of property, leasing it to a friend of his until the friend could like buy it outright, and then moving on. So it was like, for him, it was like a buy and flip kind of situation. He's just looking to make a quick buck. So the plan, that friend was going to build an auto shop on the land, and then eventually buy the land from Marv. Marv ended up buying 2 acres of land that had formerly belonged to the Dorchev family at the auction for $4,200. Yes, you have. And so did everybody in the town of Granby, because Dorchev, it happens to be like one of the richest, most affluent families in the area. They have a concrete business, so they were well known, but not to the newly arrived Marvin, right?
Sure.
So Marvin didn't know that Cody Dorchev had basically showed up to this auction in order to buy back the specific property that Marvin ended up in possession of. The way Marvin would later tell it in the cassette tapes he'd leave behind, Cody confronted him after the auction, got in his face, and screamed at him. Marv told Cody that he'd part with the land right there for $66,000, which was the amount that his friend was going to pay him for it.
Sure.
But Cody wouldn't pay because, according to Marv, he was being financed by a man named Gus Harris, who wouldn't pay more than $50,000. So Marv ended up with the property that would become the source of all of his frustrations with the town of Granby. And it would also be the land that he would build the Killdozer on.
All right.
The property didn't have anything on it when he bought it, except for a rudimentary sewage system left by, I believe, the Dorchefs. It says it says the previous owner. I think it was the Dorchefs. But that sewage system was basically a cement mixer barrel buried in the ground to be a shithole. Like a literal...
That's got to be left by the Dorchefs if it's
concrete.
a cement mixer.
Right. Yeah, well, you would think, right? So it was like a makeshift septic tank. And since Marv was planning to build a business on this new property, the town quickly was like, hey, you should probably hook up to the water and sewage lines. And Marv originally was like, sure. And he assumed it was a formality. You know, they were calling him into a city meeting to figure that all out. And he was for it because, like, why wouldn't you be, right? So he went to a meeting with the sanitation department board in town. One of the members was Ron Thompson. The Thompsons being another very affluent family in Granby and a known pal with Cody Dorchef. This association, and especially if you watch Tread, there's a lot of people talking about like the boys club that was Granby. And it seems like these two guys were kind of like the center of it, along with a few other folks. Quickly, it became clear that the matter wasn't so simple. Marv's property was hundreds of feet away to the nearest water main, so any hookup would cost double or even triple what he spent to buy the property. Additionally, Marv would have had to run the line through another property, one that just so happened to be owned by Cody Dorchef. Yeah.
I was trying to remember the name. I couldn't.
Dorchef. And to top it all off, the town wasn't going to pay for any of it. But if he didn't hook up to the main, they were going to fine him. So it's speculated that in Tread also that Ron Thompson probably came off like an asshole to Marv and had it out for him. And that probably is why Marv would have it out for the Thompson family later. But thinking about it and after like looking into it, like the Thompsons were basically in every aspect of the government. Like one of them was a mayor. There's literally roads named after the Thompsons, like Thompson Road, you know, and they owned like a ton of land in the town. They are, for all intents and purposes, synonymous with Granby. So if he was going to have a beef with Granby, he was going to have a beef with the Thompsons, no matter how Ron acted. Like, there's no, you know, it wasn't.
Yeah, you hear it all the time. You see it on bumper stickers. You're going to beef with Granby. You're going to beef with a Thompson.
So Marv, like, obviously felt like he shouldn't have to pay for a service that he didn't even necessarily want. Like, you know, like he was being forced to do. He thought it was the case of the town government extorting money from him, you know, in order to do this thing. And he didn't want to have anything to do with it. So he stormed out of the meeting. The issue is not resolved. This is 1992. The interesting thing. Wow. Yeah, this is 1992. Early. Now, the interesting thing here is that the fines don't start. He didn't get fined. He didn't get punished for this, right? Sure. He didn't get fined. There's like a famous case, and we'll talk about it later, but like he does eventually get fined. He does eventually pay money. He like writes a check to them. But that's not for 9 years after. So
is it just because he didn't build anything until then?
No, he built something. Oh, he did. There's a lot of hay made for like people who are supportive of Marv. A lot of people are like, well, the town like were corrupt and there was like a mafia and they like were extorting him and yada yada yada. But like it seems less to me like corruption and more to me like, we'll bend the rules sometime, you know?
Sure.
And this is a case where they definitely bent the rules for Marv. Like, they didn't charge him for 9 years. The fine would have been $100 a day for each day he didn't hook up the sewer line.
Wow.
If he was charged from that initial day, it would have been $328,000 fine. That's what he would have racked up. At no point was that. Haymaker worked for the last part of his life and lived on that property without a water line, without a real sewage line. But the town didn't start charging him in 1992, probably because they were just trying to be nice. Probably because he's like a new guy and they're not trying to be an asshole, right? Like trying to give Marv, a newcomer, maybe some time to settle in, you know, before they start raking him over the coals. And maybe I would say they should have started the fine right away, because maybe that would have encouraged Marv to solve this problem and not let it fester for nearly a decade or over a decade. Or it would have forced Marv to sell the property, you know?
Sure.
But that's not what happened. So for the next 4 or so years, the town and Marv kind of have like an uneasy truce. They aren't fining Marv, and he's not causing too much ruckus. He is, however, writing into the daily newspaper. Apparently, things he did not like, he would just write in. He was that kind of guy.
We all know that guy.
But in 1994, he was a proponent of bringing gambling to Granby. So much so that he got into a fist fight with one of the reporters who were against it on the street. Definitely has a little bit of a hothead streak in him, right? But aside from that, Marv seemed content to keep snowmobiling and building his new business, a muffler shop on that auction property. So he just went back into what he knew. And he was as successful as in Granby as he was in Boulder. And a fair few folks in Granby liked him. Both Tread and Dozer Manifesto make sure to feature plenty of people speaking pretty nicely about him. Even people who eventually, like, get their buildings knocked over. There's one man who was on the town board and the owner of the store the Dozer finally rests in. I'm blanking on his name. But he, when he first appears in Tread, he was a nice guy, and people liked him. He was very handy. He was a great welder. He fixed people's stuff. I mean, it's small town shit. Like, some people liked him more than others, right? Like, but it does seem like in a fair few stories, like, if you didn't pay Marv on time, or money was involved, or it was some kind of deal, that was the quickest way to, like, earn his anger, like to get
punched. Punched in the streets.
Yeah. Well, he was the kind of guy who would be like, you fucked up my truck. You need to pay me right now. Like, you need to write a check right now, or else I'm taking you to court. By all accounts, he was like very litigious. So, but he also
makes him a little bit less likable.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was a guy. I think he was a guy in town who was kind of a pain in the ass to some people and very helpful to other folks. A small town dude. But yeah, so aside from that, Marv seemed to be content to keep snowmobiling and building his new business, and by all accounts, he was successful. And he even met a woman named Trisha McDonald, and the two began dating. She was also an outsider in the documentary. She has I think she's from Australia or New Zealand or something, but she's in the documentary, and she is nothing but not nothing but nice things to say about Marv. But during this time, definitely says he met her kid. She was a divorcee. The kid, he and the kid got along okay. They had good times together. But Marv, he was a single man his entire life. He never married, had no children. He did have a brother who had a family, but other than that, like Marv was by himself. He was kind of a lone guy the whole time. And like I said, for these 4 years, you know, from roughly 92 to 96, 97, seems like Marv was pretty happy. But eventually the Dorchefs and their plans would come back and ruin that happiness for Marv in 1997. So the reason Cody Dorchef wanted to buy back his property in 1992 was because he had a big plan to build to expand his concrete business. He wanted to build a factory, right? He wanted to build a concrete batch plant. That's basically where you take all the materials for concrete, you mix them around. Now you have concrete. Yeah, that's the technical way to describe it.
No, I was, you know, it was a little engineering heavy, but I made it through.
I tried to say it slowly. In 1997, despite the setback with Marv, Cody wanted to build this factory that they had been tending to do it. So they approached Marv again to buy his property. But now Marv had a business on it, and it was pretty successful. Right. So he wanted $250,000 on it, which 5 times the amount of money he paid. So he's making a good bit of profit there. And Cody said, sure, let's do it, you know. And both of these guys are old school guys. They shake hands. It's a deal until it's not a deal. Marv comes back days later and claims that he has gotten the property reappraised. Now he wants $375,000. Cody says, I can only do $350,000. Marv agrees. Sounds good. But the deal still doesn't go through. According to Susan Dorchef, who I believe is Cody's wife, maybe sister. It's another Dorchef.
Or both.
There's a bunch. Marv came back again. Yeah, maybe. Listen, you don't know what goes on in the mountains. It gets cold in the winters. But Marv came back again with an even higher price. He wanted $450,000, and by that point, Cody had had enough. So Cody said, fuck Marv, and bought the adjacent lot next to Marv's property. And he began going through town government to get his factory built. Obviously, this pissed Marv off, and he immediately launched a public campaign against the Dorchef factory. Marv cited the dust and the noise that the factory would create, as well as the environmental impact it would have on nearby neighbors, and his campaign was initially successful. For many town meetings afterwards, Cody Dorchef could be heard cursing after the town meeting the town council had insisted he installed noise dampeners or smokestack. Like he basically, Marv would be like, well, what about this? You need to do this. And then Cody would be like, well, fuck. Okay. Revise, do the thing. And then Marv would bring something else up. And he had like public support, at least initially. But Cody meets all the demands, and eventually like the opposition goes away because it's a factory, and now that means jobs. So eventually Marv realizes he's not going to win this, and he makes one last desperate attempt to stop the factory construction. He hires a lawyer, and he has the lawyer like go through state law and how the town had gone about approving the factory, and basically finds like a small procedural loophole to say, oh, you guys didn't do it the right way. Right. You're in violation of state law, and we're going to sue you.
Marv gets less and less sympathetic the more you dig into this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing.
I feel like the versions I read, I have read of
hero?
this before, is about, like, an aggrieved man who is being,
Well, he is an
wronged.
Aggrieved man. He is
Right,
an
but,
aggrieved man.
Rightfully. The versions I've read are about a man who, like, should be aggrieved and is being wronged by the city and his neighbors and takes it into his own hands. And clearly that's not the whole story.
I mean, yeah, it's not you know, it's interesting because, like, you know, in Tread, you have people talking in the town about, like, they're his best friends in the documentary, and like somebody he used to ride snowmobiles with is in the documentary, and they're both talking like, yeah, they town fucked him or was trying to rake him over the coals, or they like acknowledge this like boys club of affluent men who run the town. And the thing is like, Marv is also an affluent man. He's just an outsider. So he, you know, he comes in and he does have the ability to throw some weight around, but like, you know, he's not part of the club. And also he's like a no bullshit guy. Like, I have a lot of sympathy for him still, even though I think like he goes overboard. Like, he's clearly a guy who has principles, and he believes like, you know,
it's the part where he keeps changing the price and like backing out of deals and stuff. Well, and then that's not very nice. You know what I mean? Like, that makes me respect him a little bit less. And then also like trying to use litigation to slow other people. Like, I get it if it's like legitimately people are going to be breathing in limestone or whatever, and like that's bad for them. That's good. That's a good fight to fight. But
yeah, and that was the fight he was fighting.
I can use a lawyer to tie shit up. That's not as great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the point where he hires the lawyer, he has kind of evaporated most of the goodwill that he had.
Sure.
And you know, you know, it's interesting. I think it's the two sides of it really comes up. Again, can't recommend Dozier Manifesto more. That it really does talk about that level too, of like, you know, things that were, let's see if I can find it, but it's like, you know, his viewpoint versus the people's viewpoint is like pretty interesting. But it's like, you know, here's a good example. This is a page where somebody is talking. Again, shout out Mr. V. Plug in this, go look for this. But like, you know, and this page is like this woman talking about like how Marv, you know, Marv and this woman's dad like went out for hunting one time. They had a good time. You know, when the day came, like, this guy's business didn't get hit because they were chill, you know, and they were good guys, you know, and there wasn't, it was definitely a targeted attack. So which leads you to believe like this is not coming from nowhere.
It's not a rampage. Yeah.
Well, it's a rampage, but it's a pointed rampage.
Yeah.
Mostly pointed rampage.
By Dungeons and Dragons rules, it's not a rampage.
Right. That's right. Trying to see if I can find another. Oh, this. I don't want to skip ahead. That's still skipping ahead. Hold on. I definitely ripped.
What's up, Duchess? We were talking about
Killdozer.
He was trying to convince us that the guy who built the Killdozer was not 100% in the right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Not falling for it.
Not falling for it at all.
I'm skeptical.
Anyway, so like I said, Cody meets all the bands. Marv brings this lawyer, tries this construction of the factory up for a minute. The town board basically goes, "Oh fuck," like kicks everyone out of the town hall meeting. Goes into an executive session, like goes like, shit, we got to figure out what to do. Like, if we did fuck this up, they agreed to go back to square one in terms of procedure as a formality. But the thing is, Cody is going to do what Cody's going to do. He doesn't give a shit. He starts going on and acting like he can build the factory with no problem. So he starts breaking ground, doing all that stuff. This is all in view of Marvin Heemeyer. Again, literally across the street. Like, let's see if, like, let me see if I can pull up
Google Maps.
Yeah.
I thought I had a picture of the property. line. I could always just pull up Tread and find it. Oh, this is this is somebody who literally pulled a screenshot from Tread, which is funny. So I am gonna do it. But yeah, it's literally like right across the street. So Marv's watching him like breaking ground. He's obviously pissed off about it. And just to give you a sense, hopefully this one will like kind of give you a sense of it. But like he's basically like, here's him, and that's all the beginning of construction at the time. It's like right there, you know? So he's just like, it's just super close by, and it's a big industrial. It's not like, yeah, you're not hiding anything from your neighbors in this area, is all I'm saying. So he's watching this happen. It's affecting his business because now there's construction going on. And he keeps like making pleas to anyone who would listen to stop the factory. He complains to the EPA, they ignore him. He claims his businesses was blocked by the factory, which wasn't true. That was like him lying. Which is also like a lie that like later people would continue to say. Like if you, even now, if you like look at some accounts of the story, it's like, oh, well, he got boxed in because if you look at it, it looks like his property is an island in the middle of a bunch of properties owned by the Dorchefs, which is to a certain extent true. But it's not like he never had access to like a road. It's not like he was blocked all the way off, you know? So
I think in the very Marv sympathetic versions I've read, they talked about, and this doesn't seem like it hangs with your timeline, but they talked about when he had to run like a sewage line, he would have had to have run it through one of the Dorchef's properties, and that they were like, no.
I said that they would definitely have to do it. It's unclear whether or not they were like fuck you, or whether they were like, sure, you need to pay me for the easement, and he didn't want to pay for the easement. Yeah. I've seen both. And again,
I think the version
Marvin's
was that
version,
he had to dig their property, and they were like, no, fuck off. And so he just couldn't.
Yeah, and that's the squishy thing about this story, is that you have Marv's side of the story, which he like impassionedly argues for on these tapes that are, you know, he doesn't sound super crazy. I've listened to all the tapes, and we can listen to some parts of him here in a minute. He doesn't sound mad. He sounds mad, but he doesn't sound like he's lost his mind. He sounds like he's at his wit's end. He sounds desperate more than anything else. And so it's very compelling. But not everything like comports factually with even how Marv says it. And who could know what interactions you again,
of course, between
two men in a small town that see each other all the time. Like we're talking about like, you know, a handful of events that stick out, but it's every day he lives there. They eat at the same places, they go to the same stores. Like they know the same people. Woman. They sleep with the same women. Yeah, that's right. So, you know, it's like it's all of this like building up. And I don't know, who knows what happened between them when no one was looking. So Marv's watching this happen. He's trying to get this to stop. He eventually brings a lawsuit against the town. And, you know, that starts working its way through the legal system. The Dorchefs, for their part, seem to have kind of wanted to make peace, or at least like figure out a mutually beneficial deal. One of the Dorchefs, Joe Dorchef, offers Heemeyer like a gentleman's agreement that if Marv dropped the lawsuit that was preventing the factory, because it stops the factory again for a little while, they would give him an easement for Marv to build his sewer hookup free of charge.
Oh, there you go.
You know?
Oh.
Marv hung up on Joe. So.
Right.
Now.
Marv.
Oh, Marv. Now, Marv probably should have taken up that offer because, oopsies.
He felt like he was winning.
Well, he felt like he was winning, but what happens when you win? You take a lot of dukes because that sewage hole fills up right around this time. And he is forced to MacGyver a gasoline pump to pump sewage out of the hole, and he puts it into a nearby irrigation ditch, which is wildly illegal to do. You cannot just spray human waste all over your property, even if you own it, especially not in an irrigation ditch. Because
I haven't gotten in trouble yet.
You don't want to say that on the internet. Anyway, the city obviously caught wind of it because it stank. And they figured, hey, wait a minute. We should probably start enforcing that fine now.
Right.
And so they started to. So eventually Marv was forced to write a check to the effect of, again, keep in mind, $328,000 would have been his fine by this point. He only pays $3,351.
Oh, wow. That's a deal.
But because he feels slighted, in the memo of the check, he writes, "To the cowards and liars departments." And in fact, you can see the check
respect that.
Right here.
I've written similarly mean things in the memos of like parking ticket payments.
Right. So it's like, but unfortunately for him, and you can see it here, evidenced here, he wrote out the amount incorrectly at first. So he writes the check, he gives it, he says, "Fuck you," he leaves. And then they call him back and they're like, "Actually, you have to come back because you fucked it up." Which is like a final
That's
indignity to this sewage saga. And eventually Marv's lawsuit gets dismissed in April 2002. And that signifies kind of like the last great fight he has with the town until he gets into his Killdozer.
The greatest fight of all.
Yeah. It's he basically lost all of his legal moves. The factory is being built. He's acquiescing to this fine and what he views as as extortion on behalf of the town government. So he's this is his low point. And during this low point, during this period of time, in the tapes, Marv recounts kind of sitting in a hot tub at some point, being utterly defeated about his plight. And I think the comic does a good job. No, go ahead.
In that last image, you could he is the flavor of human being that scribbles on top of the routing number and the account number on the bottom of the check. I've never even thought to do that.
Right. So here he is. This is like the representation of it, but and I think I have this one.
Imagine feeling sorry for yourself in your own hot tub.
I know.
I know, right? I mean, it is.
My God.
It is a interesting picture of a man who, I don't know, man. He's maybe didn't look around enough to see how much he had, Where am I?
He needed a pet.
Yeah.
You need companionship.
I find that once in a while, an animal that lives in my house will come demand attention, and I have to stop doing all of the bullshit that I normally do, and I have to spend 10 minutes just sitting there engaging with an animal, and you kind of end up spending that time thinking about how lucky you are in your life. Just admiring the moment. He needed a little bit of that.
Well, he did have a girlfriend for a while, And presumably
That's different.
well, he did have a girlfriend for a while until he didn't. They did eventually break up. And it's actually kind of sad.
All the poop spraying.
Well,
yeah.
It definitely got hard, and I think in the documentary, she's in tread, and she talks about how like he got very controlling after a point. She was like smoking cigarettes, and he didn't like that, and she got, she just said fuck this. And it seems like a rather small thing eventually broke them apart. But according to the friends, like he loved her a lot, and maybe she didn't think about the relationship in those same terms, and it's actually a really sad moment. The documentarians like ask her, like, do you think Marv loved you more than than you loved him? And they're like, she's definitely a little torn up about it. I think she blames herself to a certain extent.
Is she like, yeah, definitely 100%?
No, I think she really thought he was sweet. Like, I really,
Sure.
it didn't seem like he was a bad dude, but she definitely dodged a bullet.
Literally?
Yeah. Also, interestingly, her house did not get destroyed by the Killdozer, so maybe
sure. Sounds like he still loved her.
Sounds like he still loved her. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up some Marv Heemeyer from the.
It seems like maybe, and I don't want to,
Cody Dochev. They got.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I don't want to, I don't want to speculate too hard, but this seems like maybe the fella had a little bit of PTSD.
I mean, while he was in the Air Force during the Vietnam War, he never went to war.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think he should have talked to a therapist.
Definitely should have gotten it there. Listen, guys, therapy.
Guys, before you build a Killdozer, just try therapy.
Just one time. Just try it once.
Yeah.
Just give it a chase.
Yeah.
Maybe try it twice. I think
with two different. If the first one doesn't work, try a different therapist.
Yeah, I think Killdozer is like maybe the fourth or fifth thing you should do before. Yeah. Anyway, this is Marv Heemeyer.
Learn is that when you visit evil upon someone, be assured.
Let me back up. This is him talking about his grievances.
Not what I deserved. You meddled in my business and took what I deserved away. You took advantage of my good nature. Well, I think there's something you should learn here. For as good as a man can be, also can he be as bad. And another thing you should learn is that when you visit evil upon someone, be assured it will revisit you. And that is what is happening. It is a good thing. Because I think the community of Grandview will be stronger. I think that they will understand after years, if they ever hear this tape, if they ever hear the truth, if they're ever willing to listen. That was one thing that the council would not do ever. They were not, because they knew that they were going to have this concrete plant. Everything that I or the 50 or 80 people that were at those meetings initially, they would fall on deaf ears. Because I was the only one, the one person, I should say, that was going to be adversely affected so negatively by the impact of this concrete plant. I stood there and fought till the end. I spent the money. I let that attorney Dietza milk me because I was fearful, I was weak. Understood. I spent the money. I fought the good fight.
So, yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah, he
a lot of listening to a lot of improv rationalizing
yeah.
Situation.
There's a lot of that for sure. So anyway, he at some point in 2001, he like talks about this moment. This is dramatized here, where he formulates the plan that would eventually go on to be his Killdozer rampage.
Well, he and Jesus together.
Yes, and that isn't that isn't a very important aspect about Marv Heemeyer that also gets
When you saw only
Lost.
one pair of footprints, that's when I was in the hot tub with Marv.
Suddenly, so the way he describes it, you can kind of read it here. This is a little bit afterwards, but he's like in the hot tub, he's sobbing about, he's basically at his wit's end. He's literally weeping. Yeah, he's cry-dozing. This is when he's the cry-dozer, not the kill-dozer. So he suddenly has this like moment of clarity and he figured out what he was going to do.
You know why that happens.
Yeah, he was sitting in the hot tub and he was seeing Jesus.
Yeah.
Marv took this like moment of clarity as a sign that God approved of his rationale at that moment.
Correct.
And he's a deeply religious man. Not only that, he in his tapes he talks about how he believes in predestination. So in his brain, like all of this is leading to somewhere. So you can imagine Marv in that hot tub, Christ-baiting, why, God, why did all of these listings lead up to this, Yeah. And, once he, felt relief, then, it all made sense. Killdozing.
His heart starts again.
That's right. He's good. So he decides he's gonna killdoze. That's what God put him on Earth to do, is to teach the town a lesson and killdoze the town.
I'm jealous a little, I wish I found my calling.
So his plan is to kill Granby. Now, guys, killdozers don't grow on trees. Nor can you just buy one at your local farm and fleet.
Tragically.
No. Marv had to actually travel to California to buy the Komatsu D355A bulldozer. It is already the bulldozer of bulldozers. It is a 60-ton massive fucking bulldozer.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a lot of bulldozers.
It is huge. He shipped this thing to his muffler shop in July of 2002 and parked it right on the driveway and slapped a for sale sign on it. In his tapes, he claims that the for sale sign was a test whether he was on the right path.
I see. If somebody bought it, that would be God telling him, do something else.
Yeah.
Use a smaller dozer.
And this is like the first of many sequences of events where Marv in his brain thinks, well, if I didn't get stopped, that means I should killdoze. Like
some real Noah shit.
That's right. That is correct. Again, it's a mission from God. Like, what people don't understand is the Killdozer is a holy vehicle of God's will and judgment, at least according to Marvin Heemeyer. I almost Keymeyer. Now, he puts the sign on there. Nobody wants to buy it because it's a fucking giant bulldozer, and
it's hard to have a use for a 60-ton bulldozer.
Yeah, it's not designed for anything people are doing around there. Never mind the fact that he never puts a price on it. So it's not. There's not even a ballpark there. You know,
this brand new bulldozer I paid to have shipped out here.
Right.
I'll give you a fair price.
So
I famously fist fight people who don't give me the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just come haggle.
So he never did that. Nobody has a use for it. And so in October of 2002, he enacts the next part of his plan, which is, surprisingly to everybody in town, he decides to close his muffler shop. And with that closing, he's going to auction off everything he's got, including the dozer, and the property. So,
okay. All right.
And so everybody comes out, and that's where this panel comes from. There's two guys talking about, like, the whole town comes out to basically pick apart and take all this stuff. And, you know, this panel is, these guys, presumably, according to Mr. V, are people from the town. Like, you know. that he's interviewed for this. There's a lot of like interviews he's captured here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's again maybe the 5th time I've plugged it. It's really interesting. I think it does a very good job doing all like showing you what Marvin Heemeyer was like, making him more of a complete human being. The only things I don't love about it is I don't necessarily buy into the characterization of him during the Killdozer spree, but no one knows what was going on in Marvin's head at that point, or what his level of composure was. I don't know. Anyway, so he puts everything out to auction. Property in the bulldozer doesn't sell. What does that mean? God wants more Killdozer. So he,
Correct.
he's like, okay, I'm gonna, keep doing this. But he still is like, I think he's still at this point conflicted about it. You can't go from 0 to Killdoze in a day,
Right.
or even a year. So he takes another year to stew on it. And decides to finally sell that plot of land that was the center of all of these problems, was the thing that got him on the radar of the Dorchefs, that, got the town finding him and pissed off. Oh, the whole thing is this just for this strip of land that this is now, like, he could have sold...
3/4 of an acre. Comes with a free cement mixer full of my shit.
two yeah, exactly. 2 acres and a full cement mixer. That's right. And so he finally decides to sell it now in 2003 for $400,000, which is 10 times the amount he bought it for. Within a day, the new owners have it hooked up to the sewer line.
All right.
It's that easy. It's that easy.
That easy if the Drew Gross let you run the line.
The old Drew Gross.
Right.
Drews.
That
Dev Yevs.
Dorchevs. There you go. Now
I was almost.
Yeah, you got
close.
Now Marv.
The door dashes.
Marv worked out an arrangement with the new owners, a waste disposal company, to rent out half the building he used to own on the property. So he basically builds a wall for his half of the building, and that becomes his Killdozer lab. The rest of the money that he gets from the sale of his property, he gives to his brother, who gives to another family member. And so later, when people go after his money and his estate for all the killdozing, they can't touch it, because I guess after 2 people, it's like, no, you can't really.
It's too gross.
It's too far back. You know what I mean? It's not their money anymore. Sure. Yeah, it's not your money anymore. Some legal thing. So he planned for this. So he put up the wall. He makes this rudimentary living space in the corner of the area. It is literally shitting in a bucket. There's nothing.
It's just been shedding in a giant bucket for years.
Right.
What's the difference,
And
plus, sometimes when God tells you to do something, you got to go through some trials.
True. So wise, Father Jim.
Yeah.
So wise.
Thank you.
So Marv begins doing what he does best. He begins
shitting in a bucket.
Second thing.
Oh, sorry.
What was it? Welding. It's on the test. Welding. There you go. You always pop the what the fuck moment. Jazzy Doodles. We're killdozing. So he then backs the Komatsu up to begin work on it. The fact that the Komatsu fits in a storage unit up until this point is also another sign from God, according to him, because it's an inch clearance and he got it in without damaging. It's a whole thing. Literally, he's looking at this time for every little sign to do the thing or not to do the thing, and it's always negative affirmation for him to Killdoze, you know.
Well, yeah, this guy he's not good on like knock this thing over if I'm supposed to do it.
Right. Yeah. Don't knock this thing over if I'm supposed to Killdoze.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm supposed to Killdoze, don't give me diarrhea tonight. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And he eats a ton of Taco Bell.
So much. Heemeyer built he backs it in and he begins working on the Killdozer. Heemeyer builds a shell of metal that surrounds the whole thing. Again, we'll go back to the picture for the people who just got here of the Killdozer. It is pretty here, this is a good one.
Beautiful.
This
look at
I mean, I'd say it's pretty standard for a Killdozer. You know, it's what you're picturing.
It's pretty Killdozery, yeah. As
Looks
Killdozers
like he got
go.
lazy towards the front.
Well, you'd think, but it is.
I mean, if I was doing a Killdozer, I'd put spikes on it probably.
I know it is very
right?
functional and not a lot of
I'd go a little more
style.
shredder. He's a workman though. You know, he's not.
Right.
He's not. This isn't his art. This is his calling.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I have a little bit of issue with Dozer Manifesto in terms of like the way they depict Marv as he's like driving the Killdozer, which like, so the way they do it is like they kind of show him like having fun while doing it, which like I think it would be a lot of fun to Killdoze a town.
Yeah, of course.
If you weren't going to hurt anybody, obviously, right? Like destroying things is fun. But I don't know. Something about the fact that this doesn't look fun. Like that this doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It could have been rad. This could be rad as hell.
Yeah.
It's like.
There's something
you
about
see it,
how.
You see it on the internet and you're like, whoa. But yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's something. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And he didn't refer to it as a Killdozer. He just called it the MK tank, right? Like, he's. So it's like.
He could have spray painted flames on the side and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
He
month
could
did
have gone
go
way
with
more
Killdozer?
Mad Max.
What? What'd you say?
What month did he decide to go with Killdozer?
Patrick, he did
Today.
it 21
Today,
years ago today.
Oh, yeah. Right, he did this in June, dude.
Yeah.
He did this in
Oh,
June.
yeah.
That is a sweat box.
Exactly.
That is awful.
It is insane. And
That's what he was doing when he was in there killdozing.
exactly, sweating bullets.
Disgusting.
It is like straight up, something about how like much this just looks like a man building an instrument for him to do something he feels like is his duty. I don't know how much fun he was having.
This is a straight man's Killdozer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. We need to glam this bitch up for sure. This bitch needs a makeover right here.
Let's start by painting it not yellow.
Right?
Yeah? Step
Right?
1, decorate the dozer. Then get into the kill.
But I also understand he probably had a lot of like catharsis when he was destroying some of the buildings. So I could see some of it. I don't think it detracts away from Dozer Manifesto as a complete thing. Anyway, so he builds the shell around it, and then surrounds the shell with another shell, creating a gap between two layers of metal. He then pours concrete into that gap, functionally creating composite armor, like makeshift composite armor.
That's very clever.
Yeah, it is kind of wild. I mean, it's presumably something he must have picked up in the military.
Where did he get the concrete?
Right? I think it must have been a little bit of like a fuck you irony for you know what I mean, like for him. But yeah,
he's like, yeah, you got your $3,000. I spent $3,000 on concrete
right
for my Killdozer.
This whole shell thing that he constructed took him a year and a half to build. It added 25 tons to a 60-ton machine.
Correct.
He like I said, he the armor itself was so strong that penetrating this became an ordeal after it was over. Like,
Sure.
none of the rounds that were fired at it ever did anything to it. Like, people shot at it with rifles, people shot at it, like they had marksmen trying to hit it with stuff. Nothing did any damage to it. Marv also installed cameras because there are no windows on a Killdozer.
Right.
So he installed cameras at various points around the Killdozer, and he covered the lenses with bulletproof polycarbonate, like two layers of it. So no bullet was going to take out a camera. He also installed compressed air nozzles around the lenses to blow the dust away from there. He thought of...
Smart man.
He is a
smart man.
It's funny because in his tapes he talks about how he's not a smart guy, but he's clearly very clever, you know, and clearly has a way about machines, and clearly at this point, I mean, he's 52 years old when this happens. He's got a lot of experience, right?
Sure.
So he's got these camera viewpoints so they can see out of it. He installs an air conditioning unit because, as you pointed out, Patrick, it is a fucking oven. This is literally just an oven. And he would cook without anything like that. And finally,
maybe God was trying to tell him to start a pizza restaurant.
I know, right? He just got it horribly
He just totally
wrong.
misread.
Oh no, Killdozer's Pizzeria.
Ring to it.
You know,
yeah, right?
Heemeyer Pizzeria. You want to buy your pizzas from a man named Heemeyer. You know you're going to get that authenticity.
Yeah.
So finally, Marv surrounded the Killdozer with 3 gun ports. I think you can't really see them in this one, but 3 gun ports where he had a 50 caliber rifle, a 308 semi-auto rifle, and a 22 caliber rifle, all mounted.
For what?
That again,
That
for
was
what?
just for warning shots, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
That's just what he had kicking around.
I guess. I mean, I also think
Is that
like
him?
that's him.
Is that him holding a 50 and a 22?
That is him holding the 50 and the 22. Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
He was like the 22s in case the lady he loves tries to stop him.
Jesus. Yeah, exactly.
Shoot her in the meat, you know?
Wow. He looks like he's got a reverse farmer's tan on his hands. Look at his face compared to his hands. That's crazy.
Well, they're always underneath the hood of a car or something like that.
It could be from welding, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, from welding? Oh, because he's got the gloves on.
Yeah, arc welding blasts UV at you.
Oh, interesting. Did not know that. So yeah, he had all these. Again, the guns are a detail that also get lost when people like to point out that Marv didn't kill anybody. Like, why would you have guns unless your intention was to kill somebody? Why would you have a 50 caliber rifle mounted on
for anyone ever?
For anything? Like, yeah, what is that for? Why have guns?
What if somebody else has a Killdozer?
Yeah, he's expecting. I mean, to be fair, he did immediately, within minutes of his rampage, get into a Killdozer dozer fight. You know,
It's true.
So Marv would later recall that he was nearly caught while constructing the Killdozer by
caught with what? What would anyone? They'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing, Marv?" And he'd be like,
"Well, that's basically the gist of it." So, like, the people who owned his property now were like, "Hey, we need to do a safety inspection in your building, and so we have to get in." And he's like, "Okay." So he covers up the Killdozer with a tarp, and like,
that's just
puts
my old
everything
giant
in
bulldozer. Don't worry about it.
Well, that's what they say. And at the time, also. Again, keeping in mind, like, he's out and about, right? He has friends. He is, like, doing the thing where he's like, man, all I'm left with is with my giant bulldozer. What else am I going to do with it except destroy the town? Like, people are like, after the fact, they're like, yeah, he was going to kill Doze.
He's just saying it. He was just
he was kind of just joking. But, like, it's such a ridiculous thing for
Yeah,
somebody to
yeah,
say,
yeah.
right? Like, so nobody took him seriously.
I mean,
Yeah.
in what 2003 or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I feel
Now,
like in 2025, if people would be like, "Oh,
yeah,
Marv's gonna run over all the buildings with his
yeah,
Killdozer."
Marv's on the Killdozer path.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so so the safety inspector comes in. He's got a tarp over his Killdozer, but the safety inspector is like, "Hey, man, why do you have this hydraulic lift like in your area? That is functioning." And so Marv,
You don't have a toilet, but you have a hydraulic lift.
right? And so Marv on the spot is like, "Oh, well, this grad student is trying to use cryogenics to cool off engines, and I'm helping him with it with my not Killdozer. No, not Killdozer. Bulldozer. My Komatsu."
Right.
And the fucking inspector, who I guess his last name was Clouseau or something, was just like, "No, okay, fine, cool, bye." Like, as you were. Checks out. So fucking
Yeah.
And again, Marv was just like, "God has set me on the path to Killdoze, because if he wanted me not to Killdoze, then he would have stopped me." So there you go.
Yeah.
So, as we stated at the beginning, it was June 4th, 2004. And at 2:15 p.m., Marvin begins the Killdozing. His first target was both the closest and his most hated, the Mountain Park Concrete Factory.
Of course.
Marv immediately began tearing down any buildings that you could see in his viewports, and chaos erupted immediately. Employees like freaking out. They're calling the police. A few men who were working try to stop the Killdozer by throwing like a metal rod into the treads, but that doesn't do shit. The Killdozer, he just keeps on killing and dozing. Cody gets word that there's been some sort of explosion in the factory. He comes down, sees the Killdozer, and is immediately like, "You there, give me a gun." And he starts shooting shots at it. That's the first thing he does. Cody later says that he thought that the Killdozer was remotely controlled. He thought like somebody in the hills was controlling it. He couldn't imagine somebody doing that, right?
Yeah.
So, but he also had some sense that it was Marvin Heemeyer immediately.
Sure.
Also, everybody knew he had a giant fucking
bulldozer.
Right.
Only one dude owns an enormous bulldozer in town.
Right.
He's been flaunting it around for the last 10 years.
But he hoped that maybe like a stray bullet would knock out the remote control or something,
Sure.
He's just popping shots off. He has no idea what to do. So,
just ricocheting bullets off of the sheet metal into the factory.
I know. It's just like, again, like lots of shit happening here. This is chaos erupting, right? So his next plan is to get onto the Killdozer and see if he can like pry his way in somehow. He jumps on the Killdozer and immediately slips off. Marvin had thought about this and greased up the Killdozer.
Marv!
The Killdozer was covered in like Vaseline or grease so that nobody could climb it.
Except anyone with a flaming arrow.
Right? Yeah, there you go. It is interesting that no one thought to like Molotov it to make it too hot for him to be inside of it. But anyway. So it's at this point that we go back to the beginning of this episode of this story where Cody gets in his front loader, tries to knock it over, does not succeed. At this point, the police are sending their like experienced marksmen out to try to like shoot the viewfinders or like find something to target. But again, polycarbonate glass. Marv thought of this. There's no way they're breaking through that. They shoot it with like basically a 5.56 and a 7.62 and nothing. So
they needed a 50 caliber.
That's right. That's right. So bullets are at this point flying to the Killdozer and out from the Killdozer. Marv is clearly trying to kill some of the Dorchevs. Like, he definitely tried to kill Cody when he was passed out in his front loader. Did I get the picture? I think I did. Is this the picture here? Yeah, this is the picture of the scoop on Cody's front loader where the 50 caliber rounds like hit the holes that it was leaving in it's like a big front loader, right? Like, so this is doing damage. Like it is a miracle Cody didn't get murdered, right? Right then and there. By God, exactly. At some point, Heemeyer charges a group of police officers who take position behind a concrete barrier, and they only escape with moments to spare before the Killdozer like flattens the concrete barrier. And there's a lot of stories like this. In fact, everybody who was in a building, and I believe 11 of the buildings, of the 13 buildings he destroys, were occupied at the time. Most of those people barely.
He was going to do it during lunch break, but God didn't let him start the dozer for another 2.5 hours.
That's right. But well, that's interesting you say that, Jim, because after the fact, Cody Dorchev points out that like, if Marv really didn't want to hurt anyone, he would have gone in on like a weekend when no one was working. This was like a Friday. Like it was not gonna be like there was gonna be somebody there, you know? Like so anyway, so he starts moving towards the city now. And the thing to keep in mind is the Killdozer it's not moving very fast.
Sure.
It goes about
80 tons.
5 miles an hour. So let's just take a minute. I just want you guys to get a sense of the Killdozer rampage.
It's like a slow jog.
Oh yeah, people are literally jogging next to it the entire time. Oh yeah, sorry it's taken so long to get to the Killdozer and good stuff, but here we are. And we could do, I mean, this is 15 minutes of this. But this is like footage taken of the Killdozer.
What's he dozing right now, do you know?
That is... I'm not sure. That might be the town hall?
Oh, that would make sense. It looks like municipal.
It might be the town hall. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Because I remember the wall collapsing on top of it. You see this happening, man. And he's just going. Like...
Yeah. God says to kill those, he killed those.
Right?
Yeah.
Killdozer, kill. Yeah, so he's like moving along. It's kind of hard not just to sit and watch this.
Yeah.
So let me reposition a window really quick, and then you guys can sit and watch this, and I'll just keep talking.
Yeah, sounds great.
So
traffic only and no yelling so we can understand everybody.
Yep.
Where we're going and what we're doing. Let's just take our time.
Yep. So he points the Killdozer towards the town. It's moving real slow. People can basically jog up next to it. His first target after the concrete plant is oh wait, no, I'm skipping. Is the city hall. But on his way there, police like make a reverse 911 call, basically being like, hey, get the fuck out if they're on the way. They can kind of tell where things are going. Also, they can kind of guess because they at this point are pretty sure it's Marvin Heemeyer. So Officer Glenn Trainer actually did manage during the rampage to climb onto the Killdozer. And he rides it. The footage might come up while I'm talking of him riding it. But, yeah. So, yeah, look at that. He just completely knocked it all the way down. And so he gets on top of the Killdozer, and he's just trying to find some weakness, some, like, area that he could, like, basically get a gun barrel down to shoot. But there's nothing. I mean, Marv is an expert welder, and there's no gaps. So in desperation, he tries to throw a flashbang into one of the exhaust pipes, and it's like,
oh, clever.
Nothing, zero. Like whether or not it affected Marv, no one
Marv
knows.
Put false exhaust pipes.
Right, probably.
Hid the real ones.
Exactly.
He knew someone was gonna try it.
He was wearing sunglasses in the Killdozer.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Marv got into the city hall and began enacting vengeance on the government. Now, perhaps, yeah, so the cops are just chilling.
That guy had a big gun,
right? So the cops are just, he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know. If you're giving him the benefit of the doubt, he didn't know that there was a children's story time happening at the time of his rampage. If you're giving him the benefit of the doubt, again, this is another tale where they hear something's coming this way, they escape out the back while Marv destroys the front of the building. Like we might be watching that happening right now. It is nuts. So, well, actually, I'm gonna see. Let me see if I skip ahead. Oh yeah, it keeps going. There are other videos. I have other videos. We will continue to watch the Killdozer rampage. So they escape out the back, thankfully. Now I say Marv definitely didn't care to find out what was going on at City Hall. Sure. Still kind of on him, if any, you know. Yeah. And after the City Hall, he decided to turn towards the Liberty Savings Bank. Specifically, he targeted.
Oh, that's what his check was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Liberty Savings Bank. Yeah.
Well, he was targeting a corner office where a woman who was part of the zoning board of the town worked on. I kind of glossed over another part of his grievances, which was like some property near him got rezoned out from under him. It had to get rezoned in order for the factory to get built.
Right.
And that was part of the legal issue. So, anyway. So he went after somebody.
These people's insurance covered this?
Some people's insurance
totally
did.
Dozed my car.
But
they weren't like, act of God. Literally an act of God. We don't have to pay for shit.
I mean, if they had insurance, right? Oh,
right.
We are now skipping ahead in the video. There we go. Actually, like, people talk about that after the fact, and I can't remember if it's in Tread or if it's in Dozier Manifesto, but like the town came together to like pay for people's who were uninsured for the cars that got destroyed.
That's really
like
lovely.
Some people's like
community.
Yeah, the community really did come together after the fact, but we're jumping past the Killdozer.
I just saw cars getting smashed and I got excited.
So Marv takes out the Liberty Savings Bank. He next goes for Sky High News, who had written articles about his sewage finds that embarrassed him. Like, he literally, this is something Dozier Manifesto points out, like, and that he points out in his tapes, like, in the newspaper at the same time was a article about his sewage finds and an article about like the upcoming factory, completely ignoring that in his mind, like, the Dorchefs had like cut corners on making the factory, had tried, like, total like hit job done by the local newspaper on him. And so like he definitely had that grievance, and so he went about it. You literally can see this dude
Yeah.
just
Yeah, he's
walking
just
by,
walking next to it.
right?
Yeah.
Which is like they must have figured that he can't shoot while it's moving.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
one dude in there. He
Yeah.
can drive or shoot.
Right.
And like, well, I don't know. I guess it would probably be scary. It's like it seems like he knows. He's not trying to shoot people that he doesn't think he knows who they are. Probably.
Right.
You don't know that at the time.
Right, exactly. And I don't know. It seems like even with the cops, I don't know. It seems like he was willing to shoot some cops, but or at least run them over with a killdozer.
Sure.
So on the way to Sky High News, he's like taking out trees. You can see. I don't even have to. I really, it speaks for itself. He is tearing the fucking city apart. He takes out Sky High News and then turns on the Thompson residences to take out their buildings. The Thompson's 82-year-old matriarch narrowly escapes being killdozed. Marv then...
I will say, though, that more people should knock down their mayor's houses. I'm for that generally.
You know, it's not...
If you're not being represented, knock it down.
Yeah, if you're... okay, in a video game. Anyway...
Yeah, GTA, yeah.
In GTA. Marv turned the machine then towards a propane storage area. And this is where, again, he gets way less sympathetic.
Shit.
Yes, exactly. He seemingly wanted to blow up the town go out in a blaze of glory or do something to cause an explosion. He took aim at a broken line with his .50 caliber, but failed to ignite any of the tanks, thankfully. Had he succeeded, one officer speculated that he would have caused an explosion a half-mile long.
I don't care about some cop's estimate about how explosive propane is.
I mean, I don't know.
Give me a scientist.
I mean, do you think there are many scientists? No offense, Granberry, but I don't think there are many scientists to make their residency here.
A scientist could give you an estimate about a certain volume of propane and how big it would explode.
The police attempted to put more heavy machinery in front of the Killdozer. They get like more loaders, more things like that to try to block him in. But Marv pushes them aside.
And if God wanted him to stop, he would have given them a large enough object to stop it.
Right. Authorities were quickly realizing they weren't going to be... He's got to killdoze himself out, right? Like,
yeah.
So, but...
let the tantrum end.
Right.
Eventually, he'll get tuckered out. He'll fall asleep.
He'll killdoze off, and then... what police eventually call on the national or the state government for help. They appeal to Governor Bill Owens, who he allegedly considered using the Colorado National Guard to deploy an Apache helicopter with a Hellfire missile to shoot the Killdozer.
The missile seems like not maybe the right choice. I would say probably at least as destructive as blowing up a propane tank.
Right. They also reportedly thought about sending a 2-man team with a javelin to take out the Killdozer.
Like Cold War era javelin or like
2004 javelin.
Right.
National
Desert
Guard
Storm,
javelin.
Desert
Yeah. 2004 is not Desert Storm. 2004 is war in Iraq.
Right, isn't that? Oh, Desert Storm was the one we called when I was little.
Yeah.
What did we call the one in the 2000s? Didn't they also call that Desert Storm?
No. They called it the War on Terrorism. That's what they called it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Marv's final target after all this was the Gamble's store, a business owned by a member of the town board. This is the town board member I was talking about who was just like, yeah, you seemed like a pretty nice guy, and he like helped me out sometimes, you know? So, but he still was aggrieved. He didn't go his way with the factory, so Marv had it out for him. He took down the gamble store, but didn't realize that the property had a small basement, and his tread sunk into the basement, effectively like lifting one tread up so that he didn't have any kind of traction and he couldn't get out. So that's how he got it. And again, got it. It works.
He was like, "You're done now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, little Killdozer. You can rest now. So at this point, also the engine was overheating due to the 25 tons of extra weight Meyer had put on top of it. And the radiator was shot. He was leaking coolant. So even if he had freed himself, he was towards the end of the Killdozer's life. And also his. Shortly after the Killdozer stopped moving, a SWAT member heard a gunshot come out from inside